Chapter 2341. After Lu Lianyan finished listening, he was pleasantly surprised, and laughed. This place is not bad, we have stayed here for many years, and had already wanted to change to a better one, only that we did not find a suitable one. The divine dragon race and the rest were also very bored on top of the great heavenly star. Although there were only a dozen people on the continent, they would still be happy if they could get there. Grandmother, all of you should go over to take a look first. If you think it's good, contact the Star Moon Divine Race and the Cat Race and bring them there as well. That way, I'll be able to see you guys when I go to that place in the future. Uaa laughed. That place is really big. Alright, Lu Lianyan said. She alone was able to make decisions about such matters. Senior, is this all the undead divine race has? Chen Shang asked in a low voice. Of course not, there are still some youngsters outside. In total, there are only about 100 of them. Lu Lianyan lamented, there will be a day that we will get our revenge. Under Chen Zhang's arrangements, Zhe Long and Lu Lianyan met. For safety's sake, Zhe Long even ordered a few powerful elders of the divine dragon race to help the undead divine race complete the migration. In such a safe place, Lu Lianyan didn't need to worry all day, because she was the strongest in the undead divine race. Usually, she wouldn't dare to leave her clan, so she could finally act alone. Uaa was actually able to see her grandmother again, which made her feel at ease. Originally, she could have stayed on the great heavenly star realm, but she still decided to follow Chen Shang. Lu Lianyan was currently also the patriarch of the undead divine race, and was currently in a discussion with the divine dragon race elder. In order to make sufficient preparations in the future, Lu Lianyan planned to tell the divine dragon race elder and Chen Shang what she knew. This was because she already knew that Chen Shang was active in the Everlasting Mountain and was even prepared to snatch the Everlasting Mountain back. Before our previous patriarch of the undead divine race died, he didn't tell me much. I only knew that it was a passage to the heavenly Tao Hell. The heavenly Tao Hell was built by the natural law divine spirit. The things sealed inside were all extremely terrifying demons. As for what exactly was inside, I'm not too sure, but in short, those things in the heavenly Tao Hell are much weaker, so ground-suppressing immortal elephant can suppress them. Lu Lianyan said. What if they come out? Chen Shang asked. If we run out, all 10 ground-suppressing immortal elephant will be helpless against them. Lu Lianyan said, previously, when Ren Xin said that the heavenly Tao was dead, it was actually not like that. Oh, Chen Shang said, I also think that the heavenly Tao cannot be destroyed. It's possible that the heavenly Tao is a type of law. As for how it was born, even I don't know. This type of law maintains the circulation of various types of energy, such as the common 5-element energies, as well as time and space, etc. Lu Lianyan said as he released lightning in one hand and flames in the other. Chen Shang nodded his head, if I can grasp the laws, I can more easily control this power. Lu Lianyan said, that's right. Think about it, if the heavenly Tao were to be destroyed, all of the energy that we use right now is not something that we are familiar with. Even beings that are born from the heavenly Tao like us will disappear, because we were born from natural law principles. In that case, if the heavenly Tao is destroyed, wouldn't we be destroyed? Chen Shang frowned, his expression becoming serious. Right, but the heavenly Tao is not easy to destroy. This is a very difficult thing to do, but it allows one to control the heavenly Tao and alter the heavenly Tao. Currently, the one who has died is the natural law divine spirit. As for how he died, I do not know. There is also a place called the heavenly Tao realm. Lu Lianyan continued to speak. These divine gods are all extremely powerful. With them protecting all kinds of natural law principles, it won't be that easy to change. So that's how it is. In that case, what we need to pay attention to is the seal underneath the everlasting mountain. Who is plotting this? The mysterious old man appeared in Chen Zhang's mind. It was this old man's wisp of divine soul that had almost bewitched Ren Xin. I'm not sure. We also want to know, our undead divine race's clan being exterminated, could very well be caused by the mastermind behind this. Lu Lianyan said angrily. Chen Shang now had some understanding of the matters of the heavens. It was not of much use, but it could only let him understand the current situation more clearly. The undead divine race had already settled down here, and Lu Lianyan would also be leaving the great heavenly star realm to discuss with the Star Moon divine race and the cat race. She wanted to gather the 4 divine races to discuss on how to deal with this matter. Chen Shang was someone who had returned to the villa in the Wang ancient heavenly star. He needed to make the best use of his time to cultivate, and even someone like Ren Xin, who had surpassed the peak Divine Lord, would find it difficult to deal with the things that came out of the everlasting mountain, let alone the current him. Yu Qing, how is your cultivation progress? Chen Shang asked. It was only a matter of time before Shu Yuqing could train to become the second divine sensei. If everything goes well, I should be able to cultivate the second divine sensei within a year. Shu Yuqing replied, I'm confident. Then do you need some sort of magical pill to assist you? Chen Shang asked again. Shu Yuqing was already his woman, he would never be stingy towards his own woman. For the time being, I do not need it. If I successfully cultivate the second divine sensei, I might need a lot more. My current bones is not full yet. Shu Yuqing said, at that time, not only will I have to cultivate the divine deity of the second divine sensei to 100, I will also have to cultivate the bones of my fleshly body to 9. Alright, you can cultivate the second divine sensei first. When the time comes, you don't have to worry about bone level Dan S or anything like that, I will only help you solve your problem. Chen Shang said. Shu Yuqing found out a lot of things from the ring. Chen Shang took out the Sky Qilin divine soul that Ren Xin had given him. His other bones still lacked this divine soul, and the other divine deity only required one to cultivate a life and death divine soul. The fusion with the heavenly Qilin's divine soul was very easy. Chen Shang only used 1 day to complete it, and the moment the fusion happened, the bones on his head suddenly disappeared. Could he have gone to the second divine sensei? Was shocked. Originally, he had 2 bones in his head, but the bones that had merged with the 5 beasts suddenly disappeared. Right now, the bones in my head only requires the god-killing divine soul to be cultivated as the real-world core of my divine sensei. Inside the secret room, Chen Shang took out the Chuangshi god furnace and began refining the high-quality 9 yin and yang dan pellet. Chapter 2342. Chen Shang spent a few months to duplicate quite a few of the high-quality 9 yin and yang dan's divine medicine, and then refined many of them. After eating them, he finally condensed 100 divine deity inside his own divine sensei. Right now, he did not know whether he could be considered a peak divine lord or not, because he had only condensed bones 8 times. Although there were 8 times, they had allowed him to have 16 sets of bones. It was not easy to condense the 9th divine deity. Chen Shang only ate a type in bone level Dan and refined it in an hour. This meant that he needed a higher quality bone level Dan, and he could only go ahead to refine it. As for the bone level Dan, they required 6 realms God Cup S to improve their quality. After upgrading the quality of the best pellets to the king grade, they would need to duplicate a large amount of divine medicine so that they could be mass-produced. If only Mei Yao and the others were here, I wouldn't have to go through so much effort to copy it. Chen Shang spent a month's time to finally mature the high-quality medicinal ingredients to the king grade. As for copying king grade's medicinal herbs, he would need a lot of purple pearls, and at the same time, he would also need to cooperate with the spirit seed and use them. If it was in the hundreds of flowers village, Chen Shang would not need to work so hard, because LV Kilian and the group of women who knew how to refine pills mostly cultivated their life-killing divine deity. Their speed of condensing purple pearls was much faster than Chen Zhang's, and the quality was also better than Chen Zhang's. Furthermore, many of the women in hundreds of flowers village understood that the alive slain method would help faster with them. Right now, Chen Shang had no other choice but to patiently condense the purple pearl. After using more than 3 months of time, he finally managed to refine a batch of king grade S and refine 5 pellets out of 1 furnace. After consuming 1 pellet, he actually used 4 hours of time to refine it. Could it be because I have too many bones S on me? Chen Shang frowned. This meant that he needed higher level bone level Dan S, heaven grade ones. Previously, when he was at the 7th bones, he had eaten a bone level Dan to condense the 8th bones. Therefore, now that he was condensing the 9th divine deity, the bone level Dan required a very high level. Chen Shang still had 4 king grade S. He did not plan to eat any more, it would just be a waste if he ate them. After coming out of seclusion, Chen Shang called the few elders over. Each of you, give me 2 pills. Chen Shang gave 2 king grade S to Wu Ji, Huang Jintian and Huang Yantian. This is great, this is the bone level Dan S. If I am lucky, I can rely on these 2 bone level Dan S to step into the peak divine lord. Wu Ji said excitedly. If there were no king grade S, then he could only eat low-quality ones, which required a lot. Chen Shang gave the remaining bone level Dan to Dai Donggong, and had Dai Donggong distribute them to the other disciples who were preparing to condense the 9th bones. Of course, he would also give Huang Jintian and the others a bone-level fruit. As long as he could condense the 7th bones, he would be able to eat the bone-level fruit to condense the 8th bones, and then eat the bone-level Dan to rush to the peak of the realm. Chen Shang was more envious of them because the King Grade S were of great use to them, but not to him. I will concoct a few more divine pills for all of you. After that, I will have to go into seclusion for a very long time. Chen Shang said. Right now he had to speed up their progress. This was to make it easier to take down the everlasting mountain, so they needed more peak divine Lord S. Yue had been following Chen Shang during this period of time, especially when she was cultivating inside the time formation with him. She had also made rapid progress, and was now preparing to charge into the 9th bones as well. He gave it to Dai Donggong. Originally, he planned to go into closed-door cultivation to research on how to refine bone-level fruit, but after thinking about it, he suddenly had the idea to go back to 9 Heaven World. Just as Chen Shang was walking on the road to look for Huang Jintian had actually come to look for him in a hurry. "Brat, that little girl has come to find you," Huang Jintian said. "Which little girl? I know a lot of little girls." Although Chen Shang asked this, after thinking about it for a moment, he couldn't think of who came to find him. Of the little girls that he knew in the Star Law Divine Realm, only Long Paijin could possibly come to find him, but he felt that it was not possible. If Long Paijin came to find him, he would definitely not come himself. "Who is it?" Chen Shang asked. "Imperial concubine Lian," Huang Jintian said. "This little girl used her heaven extended method quite well, to think she would have us here." "Why is she here? Did she come alone?" Chen Shang said in pleasant surprise. "Quickly bring me to see her." Chen Shang and Huang Jintian quickly arrived at a hall and saw a purple-dressed imperial concubine Lian sipping tea. Her movements were extremely graceful and beside her sat a charming woman who looked similar to her. They were the imperial concubine Lian and her daughter Xiao Jin'er, and on the other side, there were 2 beautiful women who looked like. They were both wearing black tight-fitting clothes, and although their appearances were not alike, their figure and expression were extremely similar. These 2 petite girls were little Lizzie and Xiao Baifeng. Chen Shang had mentioned this to her many times before, but she was very similar to little Lizzie. After Xiao Baifeng went to the Hundreds of Flowers village, he spent most of his days together with little Lizzie. "I really didn't expect that you 2 would actually come." Chen Shang walked in happily. Shu Yuking, who was inside the quiet jade ring, was extremely sensitive and immediately asked if she was Chen Zhang's wife. Before Chen Shang could even answer her, Yue chattered about the relationship between Chen Shang and these few women, as well as how they had met each other before, and how they had met each other before. "You're pretty honest, to think that you didn't even eat them." Shu Yuking laughed. When Chen Shang walked in, Xiao Baifeng and little Lizzie immediately stood up. They were extremely respectful to Chen Shang. "Elder brother Shen," Xiao Jin'er politely shouted. However, when she lowered her head to drink the tea, her beautiful eyes that contained an endless amount of charm, lightly glanced at Chen Shang, and sent out a gentle gaze, causing Chen Zhang's heart to thump in his chest. This imperial concubine Lian was always seducing him from time to time, causing him to almost be unable to control himself. Kilian and the others, including me, are currently in the 100 gods level in 9 bones. They got tired of staying in the 9 Heaven World and wanted to come here to take a look, so I had to scout ahead. Imperial concubine Lian put down his teacup and said with a charming smile. "So fast, how did you do it, using the time formation?" Chen Shang asked quickly. Chapter 2343. Chen Shang originally wanted to go to the 9 Heaven World and bring back the bone-level fruit, so that the people there could raise their bones a little faster. He didn't expect them to become peak divine lord so quickly. Right now, Chen Shang was only a step away. Because of his own cultivation method, it was extremely difficult for him to reach the last step, but once he does, he would obtain extremely strong power. Of course, if it was under normal circumstances, he would already have the power to surpass peak divine lord. After all, he had 16 bones and 100 gods level, his strength definitely far surpassing peak divine lords. Seeing Chen Zhang's question, Imperial concubine Lian giggled. "What, you still haven't condensed your 9th divine deity? There really isn't any. This step is really difficult, but how did you guys manage to advance so fast?" Chen Shang asked. "Time formation, coupled with Kilian's alive slain method, we can only cultivate so fast. Kilian managed to gain some insights from the alive slain method, but this method is only suitable for women. Imperial concubine Lian laughed. You are doing quite well here, there's such a big place. Imperial concubine Lian and the rest were not new to this place, they had been here for more than a month, and during this period of time, they had learned a lot about the Star Law Divine Realm. I'm doing fine everywhere. Chen Shang laughed. He was the pill god, and as long as he knew how to refine pills, he would be able to get along well wherever he went. That's true. Are there any good places for us here? Imperial concubine Lian squinted her bewitching eyes, causing Chen Zhang's mind to waver. Don't worry, I've already made arrangements. Chen Shang called Feng Wu over. Seeing such a valiant girl like Feng Wu coming here, the imperial concubine Lian secretly snorted. Chen Shang would get along well wherever he went, and also take advantage of the opportunity to stir up trouble. Feng Wu, from now on, you shall be with them. Let them familiarize themselves with this Star Law Divine Realm. Chen Shang said. Had also told Feng Wu about the hundreds of flowers village before, so these women that had come from the Nine Heaven world must definitely all be from there. Feng Wu immediately nodded, and then politely smiled towards the imperial concubine Lian and the others. Leader, was the place you told me to find last time arranged for me? Feng Wu asked. Originally, but not now. Chen Shang suddenly frowned. Wang Ancient Heavenly Star isn't safe, but don't worry, I've already found a very safe place. Had long told Huang Jintian and the other elders about the Great Heavenly Star. Master, Senior Masters and Senior Masters, if you have the time, contact Jie Long, and then bring Imperial Concubine Lian and the others to the Great Heavenly Star to choose a suitable place. You are all from undead divine race, and so are Imperial Concubine Lian and Janur. Chen Shang said. Alright, there's no time to lose, let's start our journey now. At that time, not only will hundreds of flowers village be here, maybe even Nine Heaven School will be here. Huang Jintian laughed. It would be best if the 4 divine beasts came as well. The 4 divine beasts of Star Law Divine Realm were already dead, and although the 4 divine beasts of Nine Heaven World had experienced many life and death situations, they were still steadily growing. If they really came here, it would be extremely lively. Jie Long can be reached at any time, we can set off immediately. Huang Yantian said. Imperial Concubine Lian, you should go with them. Choose a place first, build a transmission array, and then migrate over here. Chen Shang said. I'll be able to see a little scoundrel like you when the time comes. It's been too long since I last saw you, so I feel uncomfortable. Imperial Concubine Lian chuckled. The fact that the Imperial Concubine Lian was teasing Chen Shang in front of all these people also caused them to laugh involuntarily. Chen Shang really wanted to punish this demon spirit, to actually tease him like this. Huang Jintian and the others brought the Imperial Concubine Lian girls and left. As Chen Shang was about to return to the secret room to refine pills, he met Wu Ji on his way. Leader, your father-in-law has received news. Wu Ji sent a sound transmission to Chen Shang. He had only told Wu Ji about Chen Shang marrying him, because Wu Ji had many clones. Even if he did not tell Wu Ji, he would still know about it. Now, it was Wu Ji in charge of the communication between him and Xu Dazong. Oh, is there something important? Chen Shang frowned and asked. Yes, he said it was urgent, so he told you to go to the Purple Yuan sect immediately. Wu Ji said. Alright, I'll go now. Chen Shang nodded and left the Kang Cloud City. After a few teleports, he finally arrived at the outskirts of the mountain range. He changed into his original appearance, took out a purple jade tablet, and easily entered the Purple Yuan sect. The moment he entered the Purple Yuan sect, he felt that something was amiss, as if something was staring at him. It seems like something is happening in Purple Yuan sect, to think that someone would pay so much attention to me. Chen Shang had already sensed that someone was secretly staring at him. As long as they did not do anything to hurt him, he did not take them seriously. He came to the pavilion where Xu Dazong lived. When he saw Xu Dazong, he realized that Xu Dazong was walking back and forth in the hall, as if he was troubled by something. Father, what's going on? Xu Yuqing came out of the ring and asked anxiously. It's not a good thing, Fang Zishan, this brat, actually betrayed me after failing to marry you. I don't know what those 2 old turtles did, but the few people under my command who could beat them the best betrayed me. Xu Dazong said angrily, I treated them so well, but they actually left just like that. And looking at the situation, they might even want to beat me up. Xu Dazong treated others well, there were rumors even in the Purple Yuan Heavenly Star, but now that there was actually someone who betrayed him, and even so much, it must be because the other party used some methods or offered a very generous treatment. Father-in-law, don't worry. There's still me. Chen Shang laughed. It's not a bad thing for them to betray you. At least, it's better to be able to see what kind of people they are than to stab you in the back. What you say is correct, but they want to join hands and kill me. I don't know what kind of medicine those two old fogies ate. They actually wanted to drive me away so quickly. Can't they be convinced that Purple Yuan sect is being controlled by a brat like me? The more Xu Dazong spoke, the angrier he got. The most important thing was that so many people had betrayed him. He had carefully nurtured them over the years, and he had always trusted these people. There are still two factions in Purple Yuan sect, right? It's just those two fence-sitters. Did they do it? Chen Shang asked. It's them. I always thought they were fence-sitters. Only now do I know that they are corner shovels that specifically dig into the corners. What makes me feel more comfortable is that Ziyuan Villa's side has also been dug out. Xu Dazong said. Chapter 2344. Chen Shang now understood why Xu Dazong was so anxious. The two factions in the Purple Yuan sect were gathering power, and their goal was very clear, so they were going to deal with Xu Dazong first and take down the leader first. They felt that as long as they could take Xu Dazong down, most of the people who followed Xu Dazong would miss them. When the time comes, as long as the energy they gathered is about right, they would go to the Ziyuan Villa and take control of the villa. As for the two factions on the side of the Wang Ancient Heavenly Star, they would definitely not return, and at that time, they would be able to firmly occupy the Purple Yuan Heavenly Star. Father, there should be people from the Ziyuan Villa looking for you. They should be able to see through the schemes of the two fence-sitters. Xu Yuqing said. I have experienced their shamelessness. If they were to fight, they would definitely think of a way to push me to the front and wait for me to heavily injure them before attacking. Even if I were to win, I would have been obediently eaten by them. Xu Dazong said. Father, then how many Peak Divine Lord and Pill God do you still have? Xu Yuqing asked again. I am the only one in Peak Divine Lord, the three Pill Gods have all passed. Sire, this bunch of bastards, just where have I mistreated them? Xu Dazong sighed. Looks like there's only one reason. They think you have no future. Chen Shang laughed. My good son-in-law, you're still teasing me. Xu Dazong said snappily, quickly tell me, is there any way to help me turn the situation around? Xu Yuqing was not too worried. She knew that Chen Shang was very strong, especially in the area of alchemy. Father, he is a pill god. Moreover, he can refine a bone-level Dan. He will definitely be able to help you take care of it. Xu Yuqing laughed, you guys go ahead, I'm going to cultivate. With that, she entered the ring. Although Xu Yuqing was inside the serene jade ring, she didn't feel bored at all. When Chen Shang was in closed-door cultivation, she would come out from time to time to get intimate with Chen Shang. You're actually a pill god, and a bone-level Dan that knows how to refine king grade. Why didn't you F***C King tell me earlier? Ha ha a. Xu Dazong was suddenly excited, he laughed and patted on Chen Zhang's shoulder. Don't try to rope the Peak Divine Lord in. How did those two wall turtles do it? Don't tell me they have something that would attract the Peak Divine Lord's attention. Chen Shang asked. If it wasn't Pill God, or Peak Divine Lord, they were all people who were not lacking in bone-level Dan-s. Do you still remember when they hunted undead divine race? They extracted some power from him, which could help them extend their lifespan for a period of time. To Peak Divine Lord, this is the most alluring of all, and those pill gods are all old people. They knew that they did not have much time left, so when they heard the conditions from him, they immediately went over. Xu Dazong said, of course, these are all my guesses, but I think that's about it. Doesn't that mean that the bone-level Dan I'm most proficient in is useless? Chen Shang laughed bitterly. It's not that it's useless, at least I can cultivate quite a few Peak Divine Lords. I have quite a few of them on my side. Xu Dazong said. Father-in-law, can you find those Peak Divine Lord with better luck? Those who are about to die, they should be waiting for death right now. If I can extend their lifespan, would they come and help you? Chen Shang asked. Xu Dazong's eyes lit up. The former leaders of the Purple Yuan sect were killed in order to go to that Tianyu God Melon. That Tianyu God Melon could extend their life. They will definitely help, but the question is, how long can you extend their lifespan for? Xu Dazong asked. You don't have many Tianyu God Melon, right? Don't worry about that, I'm not using Tianyu God Melon S to extend their lifespan. They can probably continue for around 1,000 years. Chen Shang planned to refine Tianyu God Melon into divine pellet, and Tianyu God Melon was a heaven-grade divine pellet. Moreover, one of them was quite big. He felt that if he were to refine it into a divine pellet, there would be a lot of them. They didn't come so quickly to mess with me. I'm going to find those old guys. You have to make sure that your pills are useful, or those old guys will risk their lives to drag me down with them. Xu Dazong said. I'll stay here for the time being. If anything happens, I can block it as well. Chen Shang said. Xu Dazong was more assured with Chen Zhang's strength. Chen Shang being able to defeat Fang Zishan so easily was enough to prove that he was extremely powerful. Time to start concocting pills. Chen Shang entered the secret room and sat down on the ground, smiling bitterly. Who asked you to be such a powerful pill god? Xu Yuqing laughed. In this Star Law Divine realm, there aren't many handsome and young powerful pill gods like you. It just so happens that I met one of them. My good wife, now that you mention it, I'm suddenly in high spirits. Chen Shang laughed, as though he was filled with energy. Chen Shang had 2 Tianyu God Melon in his hands, and these were heaven-grade divine medicines. Now that he was going to use this Tianyu God Melon to refine the pellet, he did not know what the result would be. Furthermore, this would be his first time refining a heaven-grade divine pellet. You guys need to plant more spirit seed inside. If you succeed, I might need to use a lot of spirit seed. Chen Shang said. Chen Shang took out the Chuangshi God furnace, placed it into the divine furnace, and then began to use the various methods of the heavenly alchemy to create this Tianyu God Melon. 4 hours later, the originally somewhat worried Chen Shang heaved a sigh of relief. Tianyu God Melon was not that kind of stubborn divine medicine, unlike the 3 Lotus Dan that was previously refined. Of course, even if it wasn't a stubborn divine medicine, it was still possible to use it. Furthermore, it could also increase the speed and decrease the difficulty. The Tianyu God Melon was not stubborn, but it was still a heaven-grade divine medicine, so it required a lot of time to refine. Chen Shang had to use more than 1 day to refine the Tianyu God Melon into a lump of solid medicinal paste. After the King Grade's divine medicine was refined, it became a very viscous medicinal liquid. Now that the heaven-grade divine medicine had been refined, it made the soil feel slightly wet. If it is refined, it will definitely be able to condense crystals. As expected of a heaven-ranked divine medicine, Chen Shang exclaimed. He was very confident in his ability to condense a pill, it was just that he suddenly wanted to try using the crash method. Although the crash method was extremely dangerous, it could greatly enhance the quality of the divine pellet. Previously, when Chen Shang used the Shengpin medicine to refine the pellet, he could use the crash method to refine the Jingshan Dan. Chapter 2345. After Chen Shang thought about it, he decided to use the crash method to try to refine this Tianyu God Melon. Because he was currently in need of Tianyu God Melon, he couldn't copy that many Tianyu God Melon in a short time. However, if he were to use the crash method, he would be able to improve his quality and increase the effect. However, there would be a huge risk. Chen Shang had already made up his mind. He now divided the white, jade-like clump into 5 parts, and at the same time, started to circulate the pure energy condensed by the divine deity within his body into 5 parts. He was going to use these 5 parts to push the 5 medicinal clumps forward violently later. After making his preparations, Chen Shang took a deep breath, and with a stuffy sound, he saw the 5 jade balls inside the pill furnace colliding against a single point in a short distance with extreme speed and ferocity. Boom! Chen Shang had to use his mind to control it from the beginning to the end, and the moment he collided with it, the explosive power spread to his mind. It followed his mind and shook his divine sense C, causing him to suddenly spin. Not bad. Chen Shang quickly recovered and controlled the many golden white stones inside the pill furnace. They looked like shattered pieces of gold and jade. Mother CKER, they've turned into rocks. If they were to fuse together, they would definitely become the highest quality jade crystal. Chen Shang exclaimed. Of course, if he were to take these pieces out to eat, it would have quite a good effect, but Chen Shang was a person who pursued perfection, so he had to refine them one at a time. To fuse with these pieces of debris was a very troublesome task. Chen Shang controlled the Chuangshi God furnace and released a strong flame. He refined almost all of the energy contained within the pieces to reach a balance. With the help of the Chuangshi God furnace, Chen Shang completed this step with ease. It only took half a day or so. Now he began to combine all these fragments into a large bead. It took another half day and the quality of the golden jade pellet had increased by a lot. This place can be divided into 20 pills. After calculating it, Chen Shang used the heavenly alchemy's method to turn the golden jade pellet into 20 little beads. Just press it a bit more and it will succeed. The 20 little beads were still relatively large, and if they were continued to be compressed, the quality would increase by quite a bit. This step was rather difficult because he needed to suppress 20 of them. It took him 2 full days. I finally succeeded. Chen Shang took out 20 golden jade-colored pellets from the Chuangshi god furnace. They were extremely beautiful, like jade beads. 20. Ah, it's not even that much when laying eggs. She even ran out of the netherworld Udambara ring and carefully looked at the heaven-grade divine pellet that Chen Shang had just refined. Yu also flew out from the furnace. This was the first time she saw a heaven-grade divine pill that had just come out of the furnace. Hee, I'm amazing, right? Chen Shang laughed proudly. Formidable. Shu Yuqing was also very happy that she had such a strong man. She kissed Chen Shang on the lips. Seeing Chen Shang and Shu Yuqing passionately kissing, Yue knew that they were prepared to do something shameful, so she quickly entered the ring. As expected, Chen Shang and Shu Yuqing had already become entangled together, overturning the rain and overturning the clouds, carefree and happy. Chen Shang came out of the secret room and walked to the living room of Shu Dazong's pavilion, only to see 6 old men sitting there. These old men all had wrinkled faces and their mouths agape. One look was enough to tell that they were dying of old age. Chen Shang had to admire Shu Dazong for being able to invite these peak divine lord who were about to die of old age. Brat, you've finally come out. Where's your divine pellet? Hurry up. If you don't hurry up, they will be hiccuping all the time. Shu Dazong desperately tried to send a sound transmission to Chen Shang. Chen Shang thought so too. These elders' bodies were filled with death aura, the skin on their bodies was completely lifeless, their eyes that were quietly creasing were dim and gloomy, as though they could die at any time. Chen Shang took out the divine pill he had just refined and smelled the aroma. The 6 elders opened their eyes wide. What divine pill is this? An old man asked. His body was so old that he couldn't even speak, so he used his divine force to condense sound waves to ask. His voice was very loud and clear. This is a heavenly life pill. Chen Shang said, quickly eat it. Chen Shang gave Shu Dazong a few pills, and told him to give them over. Very quickly, the 6 old men had all consumed the life bestowal divine pill, and they were currently closing their eyes to absorb the medicinal effects. Shu Dazong's heart was very perturbed. He was worried that these divine pellets would be useless, but he was incomparably shocked afterwards, because after these elders ate Chen Zhang's heavenly life divine pellet, in the process of refining, their skin began to quickly undergo a tremendous change. Chen Shang and Shu Dazong could immediately see that their originally shriveled and wrinkled faces had gradually turned rosy and white, as tender as a baby's. Not long after, these 6 elders' faces were completely red. Originally, they were all hunchbacked and had small statures, but now they had all become robust old men, and they had yet to completely refine the medicinal strength. Good boy, you're too awesome. Shu Dazong was extremely excited in his heart. He pinched Chen Zhang's hand with all his might and sent a sound transmission to Chen Shang. I really want to give birth to a few more daughters to reward you. You better not let Yuqing know about this. Chen Shang said with a voice transmission and laughed. After Shu Dazong and Chen Shang waited for more than 2 hours, the 6 elderly men suddenly opened their eyes emitting light. Although they had heads full of white hair, their bodies were filled with vitality, and compared to before, they were like the difference between heaven and earth. 6 seniors, how do you feel right now? Chen Shang hurriedly asked. This was also the first time he had refined the life bestowal divine pill, so he did not know how strong the effects were. Very good, I feel that I can live for another 5,000 years. The Tianshu divine pill is truly magical. Not only can it extend our lifespan, it can also restore our physical bodies to their peak. The old man said excitedly. The other elders were the same as well. Even though they were all from peak divine lord, when they looked at Chen Shang, they gave him respectful gazes. They wanted to kneel down and thank him for giving them a chance to be reborn. Thank you very much. One of the elders had an excited expression and immediately thanked Chen Shang. The other elders also thanked him. Of course, they also knew what they had to do in the future. Shu Dazong had told them before, that it wouldn't be difficult for them at all. Chapter 2346. Then, Chen Shang started to chat with the elders and knew that they were all big shots of some powerful forces. It was just that because they were too old, they decided to stay hidden and seek for breakthroughs. There were many small and medium-sized forces in the Purple Yuan Heavenly Star, and these powers would easily give birth to this kind of peak Divine Lord. Shu Dazong knew a few of them, and before these few elders went into seclusion, when they were still rather energetic, Shu Dazong would often go find them to ask them many questions. Now that they had consumed the life bestowal pill, they had recovered almost all of their strength. However, they did not plan to return to their own factions, as they knew very well that if they wanted to extend their lifespan, staying here was the best option. Shu Dazong heard someone knocking on the door, and after he opened it, a middle-aged man spoke anxiously. "Leader, Fang Zishan has come. Furthermore, he brought a large group of people with him." If it was before, Shu Dazong would definitely be very nervous, but now, he was not afraid. The 6 Peak Divine Lords were all strong. Although everyone was a Peak Divine Lord, there were strong and weak points. The few elders here have already been in the Peak Divine Lord for many years. Their god powers were refined to a very pure state. Amongst the Peak Divine Lord, although they were not the strongest, but they were stronger than many of the other Peak Divine Lords. "Come, let's go out and meet them. I want to see what these 2 fence-sitters and a group of traitors can do." When Shu Dazong was betrayed by those people, he was so angry that he almost rushed over to kill him. "Seniors, I'll need your help soon. Thank you for your hard work," Shu Dazong said to the 6 elders. "It's fine, we have just recovered and wish to see if we are truly younger than we were back then." An old man chuckled. Shu Dazong walked in front, followed by the 6 elders. Outside Shu Dazong's pavilion was a relatively spacious small plaza, and the moment they walked out, they saw that small plaza was filled with people. Chen Shang saw Fang Zishan. He stood at the very front, and Fang Zishan was also staring fiercely at him at that moment, because back then when Fang Zishan lost miserably to Chen Shang, it was a great humiliation to him. He did not care about whether he could marry Shu Yuking, he only cared about his own reputation. "What are all of you doing?" Shu Dazong coldly swept his eyes across this group of people. Now that he was fully confident, he was not afraid of them. "Nothing much, we just feel that you are not worthy to be the leader, so we wanted to ask you to give us your seat." The one who spoke was Fang Zishan. "Oh, how am I not fit to be a leader?" Shu Dazong laughed. Seeing that Shu Dazong was still so calm, Fang Zishan and the elders beside him were extremely confused. They knew very well that Shu Dazong no longer had any power left at his side. With one look, it was clear that they did not have much time left to live. Chen Shang immediately determined that the 2 elders should be the 3rd and 4th elder, who in turn was the fence-sitter that Shu Dazong had mentioned. The leader needs to possess a very strong power, and not only do you have this power, you also need to have an expert capable of supporting the entire Purple Yuan sect. You do not have any prestige in the Purple Yuan sect, and even the experts of the Purple Yuan sect do not listen to you. Fang Zishan said. Shu Dazong laughed, who said, "I am called the unmoving expert. Do you want to compete? Your people are stronger, or my people are stronger." Relying on him, Fang Zishan looked at Chen Shang. "What, is he that bad? I remember that you were defeated by him." Shu Dazong said. "If he can defeat us, we can forget about it. However, right now, he can't even defeat me." Fang Zishan sneered. "Back then, I only made a mistake, and because I could not use weapons, my overall strength weakened by a lot. That's why I lost to him. You can defeat him with a weapon." Shu Dazong laughed. "I possess a powerful divine weapon, and this is also a part of my strength." He can use weapons as well, but he must also find a powerful divine weapon. Fang Zishan said, and took out a purple blade. Seeing the big blade, Shu Dazong's face changed. He became gloomy. "No wonder you went along with them, so that's how it is." Divine weapon, Purple Divinity Saber. This is the divine weapon used by the great emperor of the Purple Yuan Heavenly Star when he was still alive. An old man behind Shu Dazong said. Generally speaking, King Grade S were considered relatively rarer, but Peak Divine Lord S generally had them, and if they were above that, they would have Heaven Grade divine equipment. Above Heaven Grade were Saint rank artifacts, which were extremely rare, and this Purple Yuan Heavenly Star only had a few. Having a powerful divine tool could indeed raise one's strength by a lot. If such a powerful divine weapon couldn't be used, then it would indeed become much weaker. Chen Shang didn't know whether he was in a strange state, but when he saw such a good thing, he couldn't help but want to use his heavenly magic sword to hack at it a few times to see if it could be hacked apart. Shu Dazong, if you pass this position to Fang Zishan, we can let you leave the Purple Yuan Heavenly Star safe and sound. If you are not willing, Then we can only fight. The third elder said in a strange tone. Fang Zishan thinks that since he is able to become the leader, he must be very confident in his own strength. If we can accept his challenge and defeat him, wouldn't you agree with my father-in-law's strength? Chen Shang stood up and said. You aren't afraid of death. Fang Zishan laughed coldly. That's fine too, today we will compete once again, and this time I will definitely be able to cut you down with my blade. Brat, let me fight him. This purple divinity saber is not easy to deal with. Shu Dazong pulled Chen Shang and said. Father-in-law, trust me. Chen Shang smiled at him. Shu Dazong thought for a while, then nodded, then you be careful. He felt that since Chen Shang was able to concoct the heavenly life divine pill, he must have had a lot of power. He didn't need to worry. Do you have the heart to let Shu Yuking be a widow? Fang Zishan mocked, but you don't have to worry, I will take good care of him, haha. Quote. Chen Zhang's face suddenly turned cold. It would have been fine if they were targeting him, but the person he loved the most was involved. It was also the person he was the most enraged with. Can we start now? Chen Zhang's voice was ice cold. Wait, it would be better to create a barrier. From now on, it is mine. I don't want this place to become ruins. Fang Zishan said. The enchantment was quickly set up, and Chen Shang and Fang Zishan entered into it. At this moment, Fang Zishan was filled with confidence, because he had the powerful purple god blade in his hand. He felt that even if his master Shu Dazong took action, he would still be able to kill Shu Dazong with ease. Chapter 2347. Last time when Fang Zishan was fighting, he didn't expect that Chen Zhang's eyes would also release such a strong attack. This time, he was already prepared. Don't you need a weapon? Of course, even if you use it, it will only be a waste. In front of the purple god saber, your divine weapons are nothing but trash. Fang Zishan said haughtily as he brandished the purple god blade in his hand. Of course Chen Shang wanted to use it, but he wouldn't show off his powerful divine weapons like the other party. Begin. This was what Shu Dazong had shouted. From the start, Fang Zishan had immediately stepped forward and viciously slashed at Chen Shang. He had instantly unleashed hundreds of slashes to completely cover Chen Shang, sealing off all avenues of retreat for him. However, when the purple deity blade struck Chen Zhang's body, a clear, dang dang, sound was emitted. It was as if the blade was hitting steel, and was actually unable to strike Chen Shang. Fang Zishan was startled. He did not know what was going on, but Chen Zhang's body was extremely sturdy, as if there was a strange layer of energy on the surface of his body that was able to block his purple god blade. Everyone present were all experienced and knowledgeable, and at this moment, they were equally shocked to think that Chen Zhang's body was actually so terrifying. In fact, Chen Shang used the diamond heavenly elephant of the heavenly elephant to make his body as sturdy as the stars. I don't believe it. Fang Zishan immediately went up again. This time, he channeled a very powerful force into the purple god saber, causing the blade to release a blinding purple light. Humph! Chen Shang suddenly took action, a cold light flashed in his hand, and the heavenly magic sword appeared. Ding! The moment the purple god blade touched the heavenly magic sword, it was cut off. The moment the tip of the blade was broken, a force was sent flying out, crashing into the barrier. After the purple divinity saber that was glowing with a purple light was chopped in half, purple gas continued to pour out from within. In the blink of an eye, the broken half of the divine saber had turned dull, as though it was made of scrap metal. This is not true. Fang Zishan's body shook violently. He could not believe that such a powerful divine weapon could actually be cut apart by a sword without a sharp point. Fang Zishan had used quite a few methods to test the strength of the purple god blade before, if not he wouldn't have been so confident before. Not just Fang Zishan, even Shu Dazong was stunned. The few elders behind him took deep breaths, because they had all seen how terrifying the purple god blade was. But now, it had been cut in half by a single slash. Compared to divine weapons, you will only die faster. In the instant that Fang Zishan was lost in thought, Chen Shang had teleported to meet with his sword. Before Fang Zishan could even react, his head was chopped off by Chen Shang. The moment Fang Zishan's complicated-looking head landed on the ground, a ball of flame shot out from his palm like a flaming meteorite. Boom! After Fang Zishan's head was hit by the ball of fire, it turned into a ball of fire and exploded. Shu Dazong took a deep breath. He felt that he and the few elders behind him did not need to do anything. Chen Shang alone could solve all the problems here, because even if it was him, he would not be able to kill Fang Zishan so easily. Fang Zishan had personally groomed Fang Zishan, so Shu Dazong's strength was extremely clear to him. Even if he were to personally make a move, with Fang Zishan possessing the purple deity's blade, defeating him would be extremely difficult. Let's get rid of this kid first. The third elder shouted, all of you, go and stall Shu Dazong. With that, the third elder and the few elders rushed forward, wanting to kill Chen Shang. The 6 elders behind Shu Dazong also left their original places, and in the blink of an eye, they arrived beside Chen Shang. An extremely powerful aura erupted from their bodies, causing those who had rushed over to attack, and they couldn't help but tremble with fear. Kill them all, don't leave a single one alive. Shu Dazong shouted. He himself also took out a divine sword, rushed towards the enemy and started killing. He had long wanted to get rid of those who betrayed him. The anger that he had suppressed for so long had finally been vented out. In just a few moments, a few of them were killed by him. Old thing, so what if you killed undead divine race for your longevity? Now you have to die too. Chen Shang caught the sword of the third elder with his empty hand, and 2 red beams of light shot out from his eyes into the other party's divine sense C. Ah! The third elder screamed as his divine sense C was attacked by Chen Shang. I'd like to see who ordered you all to do so. Chen Shang chopped off the third elder's head, then pinched the head and used the soul-absorbing devil spell, searching through the memories in his head. As expected, he quickly found the mysterious old man's memories. This group of big shots of forces who were about to die due to the instigation of the mysterious elder secretly planned to kill undead divine race. Killing one another in the same sect. Shu Dazong, you will die a miserable death. The fourth elder screamed miserably. His body was already badly mangled by the humph. I'm just cleaning up the place. After Shu Dazong settled this matter, he jumped over to the 4th clan elder and hacked off his throat. In just a few moments, all the people they brought with them were killed, and this small plaza was covered in blood. Fortunately, this formation was laid earlier. Otherwise, my little pavilion would have been destroyed. Shu Dazong laughed. His group of peak divine lord were in an incredible battle. If this were to continue, the barrier would not be maintained, and most of the purple Yuan sect would be flattened. These guys are really weak. Chen Shang faced the corpses on the ground and continued to shoot out balls of flame. Seeing his flames, Shu Dazong and the few elders felt chills down their spines, as they quickly distanced themselves from Chen Shang. It's not that they are too weak, it's that you are too strong. If not for you killing the third elder, things would not have ended so quickly. Shu Dazong said. Have you already surpassed the peak divine lord realm? An old man asked. Well, it's hard to say. After all, he had only condensed the 8th divine deity now. I can go and take down the everlasting mountain now. If I don't kill those 2 fellows up there, I'll be worried. Shu Dazong said, everlasting mountain is still quite strong. After all, there are still Dan God Institute and the clan of elders up there. Adding on the people brought by the great elder and second elder, they are much more powerful than those 2 wall grasses. Shu Dazong did not know about the matters of the everlasting mountain, so he felt that he should go and try. However, Chen Shang shook his head and said, we cannot make a move against the everlasting mountain now, we must obtain absolute strength before we can strike. Chapter 2348. The matter regarding the Purple Yuan sect had already been settled by Chen Shang. When he was searching through the third elder's memories, he had found out that there was some information regarding that mysterious old man. As the peak divine lords who were about to die of old age, they knew how to contact that mysterious old man. After they killed the undead divine race, they would take its corpse to that old man to extract its power. Chen Shang also knew how to find the mysterious old man. Father-in-law, are you all right now? Chen Shang said. If not, then I will go back to work. No, sometimes I'll look for you again. Shu Dazong patted Chen Zhang's shoulder, and laughed. Go and busy yourself. Chen Shang was now going to look for the mysterious old man. He had seen this mysterious old man's divine soul before, and that divine soul had been smashed to death by Renshin in a fit of rage. However, that mysterious old man should have a lot of divine soul. When Chen Shang told this matter to Yuaa was extremely excited, and said, we must find this bastard, the one who caused the death of so many people in undead divine race. If only it was his real body. Of course, if it's divine soul, I would also try to use the soul-absorbing devil spell on him. If I want to know more about the heavenly law and hell, I can only find out from him. Chen Shang said. Where is he hiding now? Yu asked. I'm on top of a Zon grade star, I'll go find him now. Chen Shang immediately left the purple yuan heavenly star, and after teleporting for a few rounds, he arrived on top of one of the Earth stage stars and flew away. Since the profound ranked star did not reach the transmission array, it could only go to the nearest Earth stage stars and then fly through the air. Chen Shang used the power of space to teleport, so he quickly went to the profound ranked star. Although this place was a profound ranked star, there were a lot of people here. It was just that most of them were mortals, and the spirit energy here was very sparse. The mysterious old man must have his own ulterior motives for hiding in this place. Once Chen Shang arrived here, he immediately hid his presence and disguised himself as a mortal, heading towards the mysterious old man's hiding place. Very quickly, he arrived beside a big house. There was a long queue here, and the people queuing up were all strong and sturdy youths. Chen Shang used the third elder's memories and confirmed that the mysterious old man lived inside. "What are you guys waiting here for?" Chen Shang asked a young man who looked simple and honest. "We are going to learn the soaring sky technique from God," the young man said. Chen Shang immediately understood who the mysterious elder was trying to find, but why was that so? The mortals on this planet only had a very shallow understanding of the path of cultivation. Many of them were unable to leave this planet. Naturally, no one knew about the matters of the outer sect. Occasionally, some powers would pass by and check if there were any good seedlings that were rarely seen. In order to meet the mysterious old man, Chen Shang had to line up as well. After waiting in line for half a day, it was finally his turn. The person responsible for the assessment was not the mysterious old man, but a middle-aged man. When Chen Shang saw the middle-aged man, he could not help but frown, because the middle-aged man gave off an aura that he was extremely familiar with. "Counter power," Chen Shang said in shock. The only one who possessed such power was the evil spirit race, and the evil spirit race had already been annihilated by him. At this time, he thought that the evil spirit race was related to the mysterious old man, and he suspected that the evil spirit race was from another world. "What's your name? You're in pretty good shape." The middle-aged man used a type of stone to tap back and forth on Chen Zhang's body, and the stone occasionally trembled a little. "Shen Fei," Chen Shang said. "All right, you've passed. Please head over there." The middle-aged man pointed to a room in his mansion. When Chen Shang walked over, he smelt a very faint scent of blood, and then he used the Dao hard eye to look, only to see that the interior of the house was a mass of blood red. It was extremely similar to the Starry Sky Blood Devil that he had seen previously. Starry Sky Blood Devil and evil spirit race were extremely good at devouring powerful bodies. Chen Shang was shocked. There was clearly a very terrifying guy in the room, a youth who was continuously devouring his own body. Now Chen Shang understood that the mysterious old man was not accepting a disciple, but was looking for a youth with decent flesh. This fellow is truly malicious. Although Chen Shang knew that something extremely terrifying was happening inside, he still walked over because he wasn't afraid in the slightest. When he walked into the room, he saw an old man sitting on a chair. His white hair was dyed red by blood, and his mouth was covered with blood. Seeing this old man, Chen Shang was overjoyed, because this was the mysterious old man. He was the one who instigated the powerhouses to kill undead divine race, and even Dragon Kylan Renshin was misled by him. "Young man, come over here. I can help you learn the soaring sky technique very quickly." The old man chuckled. His current appearance was very scary. His white hair was all sticky with dried blood. However, he pretended to be benevolent and pretended to be so. If Chen Shang had not known about his situation, he might have been tricked too. After Chen Shang walked over, the heavenly magic sword appeared in a flash. Without saying a word, he chopped off the old man's head with his fastest speed. "It's you." Even after the mysterious old man's head was chopped off, there was no blood. Furthermore, he was still talking. Just now, when Chen Shang had used his power, he had recognized him from his aura. Chen Shang was the human who had awakened the Dragon Kylan that day. Chen Shang grabbed onto the old man's head. He sensed that there was a force surging towards him. His eyes immediately shot out 2 rays of gold light, and entered the old man's divine sense sea. The elder's divine sense sea was a field of blood red. The sky was filled with blood mist, but this did not stop Chen Shang from attacking his divine sense sea. The old man screamed again and again as he angrily said, "If you fight against us, there won't be a good result. You have to understand that even an old heavenly Tao creature like us has died in our hands. Our strength is not something you can imagine. I only know that you guys are not good people. No matter how strong you are, I will still fight you." After Chen Shang finished attacking the old man's divine sense C, he used the soul-absorbing devil spell and started to search through his memories. This was also the old man's real body, but his power had been sealed by the natural law divine spirit, so he could only use the extremely weak counter power, while his body continuously aged and relied on evil techniques to maintain it. It seems like you don't know much. Chen Shang took out his Chuangshi God Furnace. Why is the Chuangshi God Furnace in your hands? The old man exclaimed. Enter. Chen Shang threw the old man's head into the Chuangshi God Furnace and burned it to ashes. Then, he walked out of the house and killed the middle-aged man in charge of testing. This was a evil spirit race. Chapter 2349. Chen Shang had already heard some things about the death of the natural law divine spirit and the infernal realm of the heavens from the mysterious old man's memories. Just like he had speculated, the reason why the undead divine race was exterminated was because the mysterious elder had purposely incited the big shots of the other powers to do it. The reason was because the four divine races was unable to join forces to reinforce the seal, thus the power of the seal would be weakened, and when the time came, the things inside the heavenly Tao of hell would be able to break open the seal and escape. Chen Shang, what exactly is in that hell? Uaa was extremely curious. The strongest power in the evil spirit race is all inside. This group of people all wanted to disrupt the circulation of the natural law principles, so they were all sent into the heavenly law hell by the natural law divine spirit. Chen Shang said, that old man also belongs to evil spirit race. Why didn't the natural law divine spirit just kill them all? Uaa asked, puzzled. Natural law divine spirit is so powerful, they should be easy to kill. This involves matters above natural law divine realm. There are gods protecting those evil spirit race above, that's why they stopped natural law divine spirit. Chen Shang said, natural law divine spirit's death should be related to the divine spirit protecting evil spirit race. I really don't understand how these gods were born, and why they protected the evil spirit race. Yu said. For example, the evil spirit race is a technique that specializes in restraining natural law principles. Those spirit beasts are protecting the evil spirit race, and they probably want to destroy the other law gods so that they can control the other laws and thus control the heavenly Tao. Chen Shang said. Now, Chen Shang already knew how terrifying the evil spirits were in the heavenly mystery realm. They were suppressed by the power of the heavenly mystery in the heavenly mystery realm. If they ran out, no one could save them. I can only wait for the undead divine race from another world to come. Chen Shang said. If they do not come, we will not be able to reinforce the seal. If the evil spirit race inside were to run out, they would definitely destroy the natural law principles and burn the entire star law divine realm to ashes. When that happens, no one would know what would happen. Chen Shang returned to the Kang Cloud City, and immediately began cultivating pill refining in seclusion. He had to reach the peak of quickly, and only then would his second divine sense C appear. He was very clear that the peak divine lord was only the peak of star law divine realm, but to the heavenly Tao, the peak divine lord was just too weak. Chen Shang now understood why Ren Xin, this powerful dragon Kailan, was able to say that even he was unable to resist the thing that came out of hell. The strength of the peak divine lord is simply unable to contend against the evil spirits of the heavens. Chen Shang frowned. Yu Qing, how is your cultivation progress? My second divine sense C has already stabilized. I will now begin to try and connect the divine sense C within the divine soul with my own divine sense C. At that time, if I can simultaneously use the bones within my divine soul, then I can consider it as me successfully breaking through the realm of peak divine lord. Shu Yuqing said. She knew that star law divine realm was facing a huge potential crisis. Good, if you succeed, you should be able to try out this kind of cultivation method. Chen Shang said. With my pill refining support, cultivating the divine soul to the same level as training the body should not be a problem. Even the experts of the peak divine lord S for all these years were unable to overcome that slash, but Shu Yuqing's cultivation method was more suitable for that. Only by cultivating 2 divine sense CS, cultivating 200 gods level S and 18 bones would I be able to finally merge divine deity and bones into my body. This way, you will step into the first level of heavenly law, the Tao Ti realm. Chen Shang said, this was something he had learned from the memories of the old man he swallowed. After the peak divine lord, was the heavenly Tao realm. After condensing the first stage of the Tao body, one could obtain 1 or even 2 kinds of natural law principles. Right now, Chen Shang was still far from the Tao Ti realm. He had never seen his second divine sense C, So after he appeared, he still had to condense his own 100 gods level. I have to work hard to cultivate as well. I can't fall behind now. She knew that she was currently too weak. Chen Shang, who was originally much weaker than him, had now greatly surpassed her. Chen Shang was currently refining pills. He did not need to worry about the divine pellets that could condense divine deity. The 9 yin and yang dan-s were the best. Currently, the most difficult thing was to condense a divine pellet with bones. Although he could refine king grade S, bone-level Dan could not condense bones just by eating them. Therefore, he had to use the bone-level fruit S as an experiment, because if he could dig out the energy of bone-level fruit S that could condense bones after eating them. After trying many different refining techniques, Chen Shang was still unable to successfully refine them. Those were techniques he had comprehended from the heavenly alchemy. Why can't I succeed? Chen Shang looked at bone-level fruit in a daze. This was the hardest pill he had ever seen. The bone-level fruit was very brittle. Its divine fruit could be easily bitten open with a single bite, which also increased the difficulty of refining it. Am I not allowed to use conventional techniques? Chen Shang said as he looked at the bone-level fruit. The training you're doing right now is not just a regular training. Shu Yuqing came out of the ring, laid on Chen Zhang's back and gently rubbed his shoulders. She knew that Chen Shang had worked hard these past few days. Chen Shang held her jade hand, pulled her into his embrace, and then tenderly caressed her back. What I mean is, I can't use my current method, I have to boldly try other methods. Shu Yuqing snuggled up to Chen Zhang's chest in an extremely intimate manner. Her jade-like hand slid across Chen Zhang's chest as she gently asked, then, what method does it have that you can use to try it? You seem to have tried a lot. Quote. Chen Shang caressed her face and laughed, then do you think I can still try to be bold? It's pretty whimsical. Quote. Shu Yuqing's beautiful eyes turned. At this time, Chen Zhang's bad hand had already seeped into her clothes, and she, who was thinking, immediately pouted, slapping Chen Zhang's arm. Scoundrel! Shu Yuqing yelled with a tender smile, and then, she struggled out of Chen Zhang's bad hands. You always use flames to refine pills, and even though you can control your flames very gently, they are still flames. You might be able to use other powers to refine it, such as gentle water. Quote. Even water can be used to concoct pills. Chen Shang laughed, that is truly wishful thinking. I'm just talking nonsense, don't take it seriously. Shu Yuqing kissed Chen Zhang's face and just as she was about to return to the Yuyao ring, she felt Chen Zhang's embrace of her waist. Sensing that Chen Zhang's current emotions were burning, her face blushed and she fell into Chen Zhang's embrace. After Chen Shang finished being happy, his entire body became extremely relaxed, and Shu Yuqing returned to the Yin Yao ring to cultivate. How can I use water to refine pills? Chen Shang laid on the ground as he rummaged through the various methods of heavenly alchemy in his mind. He wanted to see if there were any alchemy in the water. Chapter 2350. Chen Shang didn't have any other ways now, so he decided to follow Shu Yuqing's instructions and try it out. The bone-level fruit was a very special type of divine medicine. Although it was made by a king grade, it was very weak and would require very gentle power to ensure that it would not be destroyed. When the various methods in the heavenly alchemy were combined, it would also be a new method, so Chen Shang needed more time to find it. Got it, water and fire refinement. Chen Shang, who was lying on the ground, suddenly jumped up, looking extremely excited. How's the fire and water refining? Shu Yuqing heard Chen Shang shouting and immediately asked. I don't know yet, but I'll give it a try. After Chen Shang took out the Chuangshi God furnace, he did not place the bone-level fruit inside. Instead, he released a large amount of his divine sense seize power into the Chuangshi God furnace. He did not trigger the Chuangshi God furnace to produce flames. He continued like this for half an hour before he finally threw a bone-level fruit into the Chuangshi God furnace. The Chuangshi God furnace's interior was already filled with liquid. This was all condensed out of Chen Zhang's God power, and it was even icy cold water. Only after the bone-level fruit was soaked in the water did he release the flames. Through precise control, he kept the God power water inside at a certain temperature. In this way, not only would it become hot, but it would also not directly burn the bone-level fruit. After a few hours, Chen Shang said joyfully, there's hope. The bone-level fruit had already started to be refined and fused into the water because it was squeezed by this heat. When he was refining the pill, he had told Shu Yuqing about the process of refining the water and fire. Shu Yuqing did not expect his nonsense to give Chen Shang such great inspiration. After the black bone level fruit was refined, it actually became white. Even the clear God power water was dyed white. Chen Shang said, he was not afraid that the bone level fruit was not pure enough, because the water of the God power itself was very pure. After the bone level fruit was refined, it would just turn into a medicinal liquid, which meant that the quality of the fruit itself did not reach the level of a king grade. When the bone level fruit showed signs of being refined, not long after, the entire bone level fruit melted, and the clear God power water became silvery white. As long as I combine and compress all of this water, I should be able to condense a pill. Chen Shang immediately strengthened his flames, and slowly burned the Chuangshi God furnace's medicinal liquid. As he skillfully incinerated the water, it gradually turned into a silvery white mist of light, forming a large cyclone within the pill furnace. I should be able to condense a few. But, if I can condense one, then the best and the highest quality will be obtained. At this moment, Chen Shang was extremely excited, because this bone-level fruit that was difficult to refine was finally going to be conquered by him. The balls of energy inside the Chuangshi God furnace gathered together and were compressed by Chen Zhang's consciousness into a ball of medicinal liquid, releasing a dazzling silver-white light. This step is easy. Chen Shang started to condense the pellet just like how he had concocted the other pellets. He kept compressing the medicinal liquid, but what he did not expect was that although the medicinal liquid was small, after compressing it once, it became extremely sturdy, which meant, if he were to continue, he would be able to successfully refine a Jingshan Dan. It's just a weak fruit. After being refined, it becomes a Jingshan Dan. Seems like its quality will increase a lot. Chen Shang thought. The first time he ate bone-level fruit, he only needed to eat one to condense one bones. If he wanted to cultivate second time by eating bone-level fruit, he would need to eat 500, and the third time for 1,000 to 500 at a time. The limit of condensing 8 bones was the 9th bones, which could not be condensed at all. This was what Zhe Long had told Chen Shang. Chen Shang felt that if he refined a bone-level fruit into a pellet, its quality would increase by a lot, and he wouldn't need to eat so many bone-level fruit. If he succeeded, he felt that if he ate the pellet refined by a bone-level fruit, he could condense the 8 bones very smoothly. Which allowed them to cultivate a group of experts with 8 bones very quickly. Of course, his final goal was to refine the bone-level fruit into a pellet and eat it until it reached the 9th bones. It's a success, it's a Jingshan Dan. Chen Shang quickly took out the silver pill from the furnace. What kind of divine pill is this? There are already bone-level Dan here, so you can't use that name anymore. Chen Shang looked at the divine pellet and laughed. Yu Qing, you can choose a name. I refined this all because of your inspiration. I'm here to name it. Shu Yuqing came out from the serene demon ring, took the divine pellet and carefully examined it. With furrowed brows, she pondered for a moment, then said, let's call it the 9-bone divine pellet. I believe this kind of divine pellet will allow people to condense the 9th bones. Alright, let's call it 9-bone divine pill. Chen Shang nodded his head. Yu Qing, I remember that your divine soul only has 5 bones s. What's wrong? Do you want to use me to test the pill? Shu Yuqing laughed. Only you are more suitable. Chen Shang took out a bone-level fruit and passed it to her. Try and see if you can condense the 6th divine deity after eating this bone-level fruit. If you can condense the 6th divine deity, then you can eat this 9-bone divine pellet again. Was also a little excited, to be able to eat the divine pellet that Chen Shang had just created. She was, after all, the first person to eat the 9-bone divine pellet. Shu Yuqing immediately gave it a try. After she let her divine soul eat the bone-level fruit, she said, it should take a day or 2. Chen Shang nodded. He took the opportunity to refine a few 9-bone divine pills. A day had passed, and Shu Yuqing ran out of the quiet dragon ring, happily laughing. This bone-level fruit is also useful to my divine soul. It has allowed my divine soul to condense the 6th bones. Then just let your divine soul eat the 9-bone divine pellet right now. If one pellet is not enough, then eat another. Chen Shang said, oh right, did you sleep soundly after eating the bone-level fruit with your divine soul? After she falls asleep, my main body won't be able to get her up. Shu Yuqing nodded. After she wakes up, she will have condensed the 6th bones. I won't fuse with divine soul first. I'll first eat this 9-bone divine pellet and see if I can condense the 7th divine deity, said. She was very happy to be able to help Chen Shang test his pills. Chen Shang kissed her, then let her begin. After Shu Yuqing entered the ring, he had also eaten a 9-bone divine pill but there was no reaction. As expected, it's useless. Chen Shang did not feel any medicinal power being emitted either. He waited for 4 whole hours, but there was no reaction at all. My divine soul has fallen asleep, I think I've succeeded. Shu Yuqing shouted in surprise. Oh, Chen Shang laughed, we'll talk about it after we successfully condense the 7th bones. Chen Shang planned to use 500 bone level fruit to refine a 9-bone divine pill. Chapter 2351. Chen Shang used 2 days of time, and used 10 bone level fruit to refine a 9-bone divine pill. It was much higher than the one refined by the previous bone level fruit. He did not know how many bone level fruit were equivalent to, but he still needed Shu Yuqing to test it first to know. After Shu Yuqing's divine soul consumed 1 9-bone divine pellet, she had already successfully condensed the 7th bones. Now, Chen Shang was letting her consume the divine pellet refined by the 10 bone level fruit S. If only I can successfully condense the 8th bones. I can probably guess how many bone level fruit S are needed to refine the bones. Chen Shang said. Shu Yuqing continued to try. In the short span of a few days, her divine soul had created 2 consecutive bones, which made her extremely happy, and she was naturally very willing to try it right now. Furthermore, her second divine sense C had already finished cultivating, and the 2 divine sense C were already slowly fusing. At that time, she would be able to use both her divine soul and her body's bones at the same time. Chen Shang began to refine the 9-bone divine pill again. This time, he was going to try hard to refine 500 bone level fruit into a single pellet. Right now, he only wanted to use this 9-bone divine pill to break through his current bottleneck, and let himself condense his 9th bones. Refining all 500 bone level fruit into pills required a lot of time. After all, 500 of them, even one of them, required a lot of time. I've succeeded, my divine soul has successfully condensed the 8th bones. It's too fast, am I dreaming? Shu Yuqing's surprised voice could be heard. Chen Shang also nodded in satisfaction. What I want is this kind of speed. Darling, you're so awesome. Shu Yuqing praised. Following you is really not bad. Of course, Chen Shang laughed proudly. I have expended a lot of thought and scheming to become stronger for the sake of the little lady beside me. 2 months had passed and Chen Shang had finally refined 500 bone level fruit into a 9-bone divine pill. This 9-bone divine pill was only as big as a peanut, but it was extremely heavy. 500 pellets condensed from bone level fruit, almost 50 kilograms. Chen Shang weighed them in his hand. 100 kilograms was nothing to him. Can you successfully condense the 9th bones? Hurry up and try it out. Shu Yuqing knew that Chen Shang had been stuck at this bottleneck for a long time. Chen Shang could not wait any longer. He anxiously consumed it, and the medicinal power immediately melted away. He suddenly felt very comfortable, and then fell asleep. Seeing Chen Shang falling asleep, Shu Yuqing and Yuaa immediately cheered, because they knew that Chen Shang had succeeded. This was a sign that the bones would manifest after consuming the bone level fruit or the 9-bone divine pill. Chen Shang himself did not know that he was sleeping, so he did not know that the time outside was passing by. Leader hasn't come out yet. Feng Wu came to the villa and asked Dai Donggong. Not yet. It hasn't been a long time since he went into closed-door training. In the past, the longest time I spent in seclusion was over 1,000 years. Dai Donggong laughed. What urgent matter do you have to find him for? Feng Wu had been following imperial concubine Lian and the others the entire time, and it had already been a year. At this time, the entire Hundreds of Flowers village had already moved to the top of the Great Heavenly Star. Feng Wu came here obviously to tell Chen Shang the good news. It's just that his friends and wife have all moved here. I want to tell him this news. Feng Wu said, Elder Dai, if he comes out from closed-door cultivation, tell him to hurry up and head to the Great Heavenly Star. No problem, I also want to go to the Great Heavenly Star later on. I heard from Wu Ji and the others that the 4 great divine beasts of 9 Heaven World are all here, and are as powerful as the 4 great divine beasts of Star La Divine Realm. Dai Donggong laughed. Feng Wu smiled and nodded. I can go to Elder Dai anytime. Now that Feng Wu had also joined the Hundreds of Flowers village, she knew that many of the women in the Hundreds of Flowers village had a good relationship with Chen Shang. She did not dare to ask which of them were Chen Zhang's wives, and only knew that Shui Shenxian, Lu Menger and Long Shui were his wives, while Dongfang Xinue and Hua Shangyu were his little maid. She wasn't sure about this, but she felt too embarrassed to ask. However, when she was in Hundreds of Flowers village, there were many women who asked her about her relationship with Chen Shang, and they all thought that Chen Shang had eaten her. The moment Feng Wu walked out of the villa, he saw a beautiful woman in white clothes walking over with a smile. Shui Yi, why did you come? Feng Wu was very surprised. She knew that Shui Yi was a white dragon and it was very dangerous for divine dragon race to wander around randomly. Why can't I come? I'm not afraid, but hasn't little scoundrel come out yet? Long Shui Yi asked. Following behind her was Zhe Long, who had brought her here. Zhe Long said helplessly, she insisted on pestering me to bring her over. I have no other choice. This ancestor is stronger than me, so you don't have to worry about her. Quote. Not yet. Feng Wu anxiously walked over. She was extremely worried about Long Shui. At that time Chen Shang had said that she was looking for the 3 Lotus Dan's divine medicine, precisely to cure Long Shui's poison. I'll leave it to you when I go back. Zhe Long ran off as soon as he finished his words. Feng Wu, bring me around here. Little scoundrel's power has been here for a long time, he must have controlled this place well, so it should be very safe. Long Shui laughed. Feng Wu laughed, then held Long Shui's hand as they walked down the street. Along the way, Long Shui caught all the fruits at the stalls, and every one of them was more than half full. Feng Wu was in charge of buying the fruits for the Shen Yuan stone, so the fruits were very cheap. Shui, is elder brother Shen really that bad? Why do you keep calling him little scoundrel? Feng Wu asked with a smile. Sometimes this guy's bad to the bone, and sometimes he's so honest. Long Shui laughed tenderly, he's not really broken. Otherwise, you would definitely have been eaten by him to the point where not even your bones would remain. So it's like that. Was he home to a lot of women? I always feel that his relationship with those girls is very good. Feng Wu asked again. Because Long Shui seemed to be more mischievous and easygoing, she dared to ask about this matter. After all, she was also very curious. Not much, most of them are pretty close to her. Of course, many of them are interested in him and have received great favors from him. Long Shui said. She understood all the women around Chen Shang a little. Long Shui took out a snow-white fruit and wanted to take a beautiful bite, but unexpectedly the fruit was snatched away. She was just about to go crazy with rage, when she saw Chen Shang standing in front of her, smiling as he ate the fruit. Little scoundrel, you actually dare to steal my food. Long Shui laughed and started playing with Chen Shang. Back then, when Chen Shang had just met her, she was robbed and eaten by Long Shui. When Long Shui thought back to it, she couldn't help but feel sweet in her heart. When Chen Shang came out of closed-door cultivation, he knew that Feng Wu had come to find him and that Long Shui had come from behind as well. Chapter 2352. When Chen Shang saw that Long Shui had arrived, he knew that the people of Nine Heaven World had moved to the Great Heavenly Star Realm. He had an Huang Yantian help out with this matter, it seemed like things were progressing smoothly. Because Chen Shang had come out of seclusion, Long Shui immediately followed Feng Wu back to the villa. Long Shui had mainly missed Chen Shang too much, which was why he had pestered Zhe Long to bring her here. Little scoundrel, elder sister Menge'er and the others said that they can refine an array disk that can teleport from the Great Heavenly Star to here. It will take some time for it to be completed, and at that time, they will come over to play. Long Shui did not know about the hidden dangers of Wang Ancient Heavenly Star. Quote. I will go find Sister Kilian, let's go together now. Chen Shang pinched Long Shui's face. After that, Chen Shang and Long Shui left the Wang Ancient Heavenly Star and headed towards the Great Sky Star. After arriving at the Great Heavenly Star, Chen Shang followed Long Shui and came to the that was established here. Chen Shang did not immediately go find LV Kilian, but first went to see Shui Shenxian and the others. Seeing that their strength had greatly increased, he felt more at ease. At this time, they were busy refining the transmission array disk, and Chen Shang had only touched their small hands, or pinched their faces, before he left. Chen Shang returned to the courtyard house of the pill refining team and played with the girls for a while before he started discussing a lot of pill refining matters with them. He passed on all his gains from these few days to Feng Yuji and even gave him some medicinal ingredients. After walking around the hundreds of flowers village for a bit, Chen Shang finally went to find LV Kilian. Originally, he had planned to let Shu Yuking out, but since Shu Yuking was currently cultivating, her bones would require her to condense her divine soul as well. Sister Kilian, Chen Shang entered LV Kilian's secret room and called out sweetly. Humph. Seeing Chen Zhang's expression, LV Kilian spat lightly. I heard your master say that because of some other reason, we can't be allowed to go up. He didn't tell me, he said it would be better for you. LV Kilian said. She was currently in Chen Zhang's embrace. Sigh. This Star Law Divine Realm is not very peaceful, and I do not know if you made the wrong decision when you came here. Chen Shang sighed. If the Star Law Divine Realm is not peaceful, then sooner or later, it will spread to the Nine Heaven World and we won't be able to avoid it in the end. LV Kilian said gently. It seems that the problem is very serious, can you tell me about it? The Wang ancient heavenly stars of the Star Law Divine Realm have a passageway to the Heavenly Law Underground, and there are very terrifying things beneath the Heavenly Law Underground. They can control natural law principles, and once they control natural law principles, they will become extremely powerful, so we might not even be their match. Chen Shang said. There are 4 divine races in the Star Law Divine Realm. Their mission in the Star Law Divine Realm was to strengthen this seal, and now that the entire race of the undead divine race has been exterminated, that means if this seal is loosened, it will be impossible to reinforce, and the things inside will break out from the seal sooner or later. LV Kilian lightly caressed Chen Zhang's face, and said with a slight frown, how strong is the thing underneath the seal? Can't the peak divine lord match up to them? Quote. Chen Shang shook his head. Their strength far surpasses peak divine lords, and is even above the heavenly Tao realm. To step into the heavenly Tao realm after surpassing peak divine lord would require 2 divine sense CS to cultivate up to 200 gods level S and 18 bones before they could step into the heavenly Tao realm. Quote. LV Kilian took out a jade tablet and sent a message to Feng Yuji. For such an important matter, she also wanted to tell Feng Yuji. Wei Shan took Yulan to the divine dragon race to study, she can't come back for a while. LV Kilian left Chen Zhang's embrace, walked over, and opened the door, allowing Feng Yuji to enter. Feng Yuji was in charge of alchemy in the Hundreds of Flowers village, so he had to let her know about some important things and discuss them with her. When Chen Shang went to find Feng Yuji, in order to not worry Su Meiyao and the others, he did not tell them about this either. As for Feng Yuji, he did not know either. Cultivating the second divine sense C. How should I train? Feng Yuji asked. Have you finished cultivating? I always felt that you were very powerful. Quote. I have cultivated it, but my cultivation method is not suitable for others. Chen Shang said, but you all do not have to worry, there is still a way. Is that the main thing is to cultivate a set of divine soul, to cultivate that set of divine soul to be as strong as I am, and then to cultivate divine sense C, bones, and divine deity on top of that set of divine soul. Quote. This was the method Shu Yuqing used to form the second divine sense C. Sister Feng, I have already given you that bone level fruit. You all need to duplicate more of it. If you use this to refine the 9-bone divine pill, you can quickly condense bones. Chen Shang said. I know. Feng Yuji chuckled. Little scoundrel, you're pretty obedient to me. After coming to Star Law Divine Realm, you actually didn't pick a fight. Chen Shang laughed dryly, then pulled Feng Yuji and LV Kilian over, and actually took off their clothes with extremely nimble hands. Feng Yuji and LV Kilian's faces immediately flushed red, they knew what Chen Shang wanted to do. Little scoundrel, I missed you guys so much. Chen Shang laughed wickedly, then started to get intimate with the 2 girls. Chen Shang stayed in Hundreds of Flowers village for a few days, and after Shu Yuqing finished his closed-door cultivation, he introduced Shu Yuqing to the others, and asked Shu Yuqing to share his experiences in training with the second divine sense C. At this time, Yuaa also came out of the ring, looking for Shui Bingyan to play. She decided to stay in Hundreds of Flowers village for a period of time, and not follow Chen Shang for the time being. After Chen Shang left the Hundreds of Flowers village, he headed towards the Nine Heaven School. He understood that the Nine Heaven School was currently managed by Jiyu Dongchen. Zhu Kanghai had hidden himself and was only an elder, but he had also followed along. The main reason was because he did not want to stay in the Nine Heaven World alone, and the Nine Heaven World was currently developing very smoothly. Chen Shang also saw many of his good friends from back then. After drinking with them for a long time, he went to find Zhu Kanghai. When he saw Zhu Kanghai, he was shocked, he never thought that Zhu Kanghai would have grown so much older. Although he was only middle-aged, his hair had become a lot whiter. I'm almost there too, but now that I can see that the world I have created has become so powerful, I can die without regrets. Zhu Kanghai sighed. Big brother Kanghai, this is a divine longevity pill that I refined. It can extend one's lifespan. Chen Shang took out a few of these life longevity pellets and gave them to Zhu Kanghai. He had already given the Tianyu God Melon to Feng Yuji earlier for Feng Yuji and the others to help him copy more. Is it really useful? Zhu Kanghai suddenly became excited, although he was not afraid of death, but if there was any hope of survival, he was very willing. Useful. Chen Shang nodded and smiled, you'll know once you try. Chapter 2353. Zhu Kanghai hurriedly swallowed a pill. After the medicinal power melted, he immediately felt that it was just like what Chen Shang said, it could extend his life. Not long after, Zhu Kanghai seemed to have become a lot younger, an energetic middle-aged man. It is indeed useful. Your improvement in the pill Dao is truly swift. Zhu Kanghai laughed, his smile was extremely brilliant, and completely different from before. After that, Chen Shang told Zhu Kanghai a lot of things about the Star Law Divine Realm, letting Zhu Kanghai know that there was danger here. Of course, if it were to explode, it would not spread to the big sky star so quickly. After Zhu Kanghai found out about this, he couldn't help but sigh with emotion. He had initially thought that the Peak Divine Lord was the end of the line, but he never thought that there was still someone at the heavenly Tao realm above. He had always felt that there was no limit to one's strength. Chen Shang also felt the same way, and then he told Zhu Kanghai the direction to cultivate the second divine sense C and told him to teach it to the others in the Nine Heaven School. This everlasting mountain was the knot in his heart. If he did not control the everlasting mountain in his hands, he would be very worried. When Chen Shang had consumed the 9-bone divine pellet that the 500-bone level fruit had refined earlier, he had already cultivated up to the 9th bones, and the second divine sense C had also appeared. He was extremely familiar with the Taiji Yin and Yang map, and what was a little different from before was that there were originally 5 beast statue, but now there were 6. There was an extra Qilin floating in the air. My second divine sense C's cultivation is not to condense divine deity, but to help the 6 heavenly beasts condense their bones. When Chen Shang saw his familiar second divine sense C, he could distinctly feel it. If it was someone else's second divine sense C, they would need to cultivate 100 gods level, but Chen Shang needed to give each beast statue 10 bones. At that time, he would be able to step into the heavenly Tao and condense his Tao body. After Chen Shang returned to the Kang Cloud City's villa, Wu Ji came in a hurry to find him. Leader, something bad happened. Wu Ji's expression was solemn, and said anxiously, Undead Divine Race is here. Undead Divine Race is here. Chen Shang understood immediately, and at the same time was a little happy. Wu Ji had previously said that their Star Law Divine Realm was only a branch power organization and that they had one in other places, and one that was even more powerful. Yue's grandmother had now successfully contacted the largest clan in Undead Divine Race, which was why Wu Ji said that the Undead Divine Race had come. What? Isn't this a good thing? Chen Shang asked doubtfully. It's not a good thing. Wu Ji said as his brows furrowed. After this Undead Divine Race came, he did not immediately look for us, but went to occupy other heavenly stars. Or did he use an extremely brutal method to directly attack a heavenly star and dominate it? When did this happen? Chen Shang was also very surprised. He thought about it carefully and felt that it was nothing much. However, this is also very normal. After all, Undead Divine Race was killed by those heavenly star great leaders. No, it would be one thing if they only wanted to kill those powerhouses. However, they killed indiscriminately and indiscriminately. Moreover, they did not completely exterminate those powers. Instead, they controlled those powers and admitted that they possess extremely powerful strength. Wu Ji said. Hearing that, Chen Shang also felt that something was amiss. The Undead Divine Race that just came here seemed to be different from the one he knew. Elder Wu, then what do you think? Wu Ji asked. Wu Ji had many clones, so he could quickly find out what was happening in the heavenly stars. Even though they are also Undead Divine Race, they are not on the same route as us. I have already told the Patriarch to be more careful when she comes into contact with this group of fellows. Wu Ji said, we, the 4 divine races who have been stationed in the Star Law Divine Realm for a long time, have already separated from the main clan. Elder Wu, you mean the entire race is getting worse? Chen Shang frowned. It's possible. According to their current style of doing things, they can only be described as cruel. Our Undead Divine Race should not be like this. Wu Ji's face became serious. It seems that Star Law Divine Realm is getting more and more restless. Go and invite Elder Dai, my master and senior uncle. It's time for us to take Everlasting Mountain down. Chen Shang said, this Everlasting Mountain must be under our control. If this undead divine race, which comes from the main clan, is filled with ill intent, and is under their control, it will lead to disaster. Now that Chen Shang had seen his own second divine sense see, his strength was already very terrifying. After going beyond the realm of peak divine lord, he felt that it shouldn't be a problem to deal with the fellows from the everlasting mountain S. Dai Donggong, Huang Jintian and the others arrived quickly. It's time to make a move. Huang Jintian laughed, but after hearing what Wu Ji said, he could not laugh anymore. Undead divine race from the main clan had finally arrived, but it was not as they had imagined. Our undead divine race has never been like that. They really killed innocent people on a heavenly star. Huang Jintian frowned, he took out the Tianyan God record, and started searching for something on it. Yes, they killed a lot of people. They destroyed 2 stellar corridors, and countless others died as well. Wu Ji said, "What are you looking for? Is it recorded in the divine records?" Huang Jintian did not answer, but started flipping through it seriously. After a while, he let out a long sigh. "Why are you so sure about what was written on the record?" Huang Yantian hurriedly asked. "The entire clan is in some natural law divine realm or other. Back then, they had a sealed passage to hell on the Tao of the heavens." Huang Jintian said, "If they truly had thoughts of strengthening us, they would have made their move long ago, but they only watched as our clan was exterminated right in front of their eyes." Wu Ji trembled as he shook his head. He could not believe that it was true. "Master, you mean to say that the undead divine race above the natural law divine realm also wants to disrupt the order of the entire heavenly Tao?" Chen Shang was also very surprised. "It should be, as for why I do not know, there must be a reason behind them colluding with the evil spirit race, but no matter what reason they have, I will not let them go, even if they are our ancestors." Huang Jintian's voice trembled as she endured her rage. Her Star Law Divine Realms clan was exterminated, and this was a blood feud. The undead divine races that came over to the main race had originally been Chen Zhang's hope, but now they were extremely disappointed. Not only would they not help to resolve the crisis in the Star Law Divine Realm, they were even opposing them. "Right now, no matter what, we must protect the Everlasting Mountain. As long as the seal below the Everlasting Mountain is not broken, we can gain more time." Wu Ji said, "Leader, when do we start? All of you, go gather the disciples. We'll make our move tomorrow morning." Chen Shang said, he and the few elders had already made their preparations. Chapter 2354. Wu Ji also spread the news of this matter to the upper star realms, letting the 4 divine races above understand the situation. Since the undead divine race's main race was above the natural law divine realm, then perhaps the other 3 great god clans might also be above the. If they were all going to disrupt the order of the heavens, then the other 3 great god clans would have to make their own decisions. Now, Wu Ji had already made a decision to go against the entire clan, because they, the undead divine race, had sacrificed too much. The other 3 god clans did not sacrifice anything, but they could not force themselves to hide, so their resentment was not that great. At that time, they might just follow the main race above natural law divine realm. Therefore, Wu Ji had also told Chen Shang to be wary of the other 3 god clans. Deep into the night, the entire Kang Cloud City was extremely quiet. Chen Shang and the others had already gathered all of the disciples, and with the help of a large number of bone-level Dan, the strength of all the disciples had increased by a lot. "Tomorrow, you will be led by the Elder Dai. We will listen to the orders of the Elder Dai to attack, and we will be in charge of killing our way up to the Everlasting Mountain." Wu Ji said. As he had many clones, he had already infiltrated into the Everlasting Mountain seriously. There isn't much power laid down on top of the Everlasting Mountain, only the original Dan God Institute and the Elder's Courtyard. There is already an Elder of the Purple Yuan sect, and most of the Purple Yuan sect's power is hidden underneath the Everlasting Mountain. I have already told the Elder Dai of their location. Wu Ji said. "Everyone, when the time comes, you must be careful. The more people we send, the more of them will live." Chen Shang said, "I believe that for the past few days, everyone has been working hard to improve themselves. Although we don't have many people here, all of us are elites, able to take charge of Chen Shang. Although we have a lot of enemies, they are all shrimp soldiers and crab generals. We do not need to fear them." Chen Shang said, "These disciples often fought with the special god beast, and at this time, they were not afraid at all. On the contrary, they were excited, they had been here for so long." Before the sky brightened, Chen Shang had already used his formidable spatial energy to teleport everyone to the area below Everlasting Mountain. Huang Jintian, Teng Yang and Jing Zi each led their own small teams, stealthily approaching the area of influence of Everlasting Mountain. Chen Shang did not tell Xu Dazong. Previously, Xu Dazong had also said that if he were to make a move against Everlasting Mountain, there was no need to notify him. The two powerful elders of the Purple Yuan sect that were stationed there were also strong opponents for Xu Dazong. Elder Wu, let's go. Originally, Dai Donggong also wanted to go up there, but there was an elder from the Purple Yuan sect below who needed Dai Donggong's strength to suppress them. And now that Chen Shang had 18 bones and 100 gods level, in addition to the second divine sense C, he felt that he would have no problem fighting the entire Everlasting Mountain on his own. If it wasn't for the fact that there was a seal underneath Everlasting Mountain, they wouldn't need to be so careful. Chen Shang was able to handle it alone, and the reason why they were doing that was because they wanted to quickly kill all the peak divine lords that were a threat to their safety. Chen Shang and Wu Ji teleported all the way to the summit of Everlasting Mountain, where there were many buildings. Chen Shang had come here once before, but was still not very familiar with the place, but Wu Ji had his clone inside there and was very familiar with it. Leader, my clone has already left the Everlasting Mountain. You can attack in a while. Wu Ji whispered to Chen Shang. Chen Zhang's first target was the elder of the Purple Yuan sect. This elder was also the strongest on the mountain top. He did not need Wu Ji's guidance to be able to sense this elder's aura. I'll be going over first. Go and assassinate the other peak divine lordess. It would be best if there isn't any commotion. After Chen Shang finished speaking, he teleported and disappeared. The elder from Purple Yuan sect was currently cultivating in the secret room. Chen Zhang's spatial energy was becoming stronger and stronger, and his penetrating power was extremely strong. Even with the protection of the secret room, he was able to easily penetrate it. After Chen Shang entered, the clan elder immediately noticed him and opened his eyes wide, his eyes flashed, and he suddenly disappeared. What? Chen Shang was startled. He immediately released the Dao Hard Eye, and very quickly he saw a red figure flash past him. He did not expect the elder to actually know how to use the counter power and hide his own body. What's wrong with this fellow? He actually knows how to use this kind of power. Chen Shang could see his opponent using the Dao Hard Eye, so when the elder chopped at him, Chen Shang immediately used the counter power to make himself more transparent. Who exactly are you? Why did you kill me? Could it be that you've reneged on your promise? The elder asked hurriedly when he saw the other party use the same amount of power as him. You participated in the killing of the undead divine race. This is the reason. Chen Shang flashed, the heavenly magic sword appeared in his hands and slashed at the elder. Chen Zhang's speed was very fast, and the elder could not see him either. This secret room was also very narrow, so it was impossible for him to dodge. Chen Shang never thought that the elder's reaction would be so good, to actually be able to dodge his fatal strike. It was only the loss of an arm, but the following strike accurately pierced into his opponent's throat. Just who are you? The Purple Yuan sect elder appeared to be round, his throat was filled with blood, and when Chen Shang thrusted the sword, a wave of meteor immortal power was injected into the sword, causing the opponent's bones to shatter. The opponent's body and divine sense C both suffered heavy injuries. You don't need to know. You only need to know that I'm here to avenge the undead divine race. Chen Shang slapped his head with his palm, and at the same time that the soul-absorbing devil spell activated, the elder screamed miserably. Chen Shang was currently searching through the elder's memories, because he knew about the counter power. Damn it, I didn't expect that after the mysterious old man died, there would still be other people. From the elder's memories, Chen Shang realized that there were other evil spirit races, evil spirits moving around. They were also quite active during this period of time, and they began to come into contact with some strong practitioners. Boom! A thunderous boom came from the outside. Crap! Chen Shang felt that something terrible had happened. If this elder knew about counter power, then the other peak divine lordess of Everlasting Mountain might know too. After hiding, it was not something that Dai Donggong and the others could deal with. Chen Shang swiftly killed the elder, and after throwing him into the Chuangshi God furnace, he immediately teleported out of the secret room. When he arrived outside, he saw blood trickling from the corner of Wu Ji's mouth, and landed on a small plaza. On top of that, there was also an arm, which wasn't Wu Ji's arm, but the arm of an elder of the Dan God Institute. Chapter 2355. When Chen Shang came outside, he immediately used the Dao Hard Eye. Seeing that there were 3 red figures jumping towards Wu Ji, he immediately used a teleportation spell to teleport Wu Ji. Wu Ji had heard Chen Shang talk about the evil spirit race's counter power. After using this power, it could make himself invisible and others would find it difficult to see. Therefore, he knew very well what kind of danger he was facing. However, he could still use his intuition to cut off an elder's arm. I have to get rid of these guys quickly. I didn't think that they would actually know how to use this kind of power. Chen Shang moved Wu Ji to the side and transmitted to Wu Ji, then he himself teleported to the side of the elder with his arm cut off. Even though the elder of the Dan God Institute had lost an arm, he seemed to not have received any heavy injuries. He still very agilely charged towards Wu Ji. The clan elder saw Chen Shang, so he immediately changed his direction and rushed towards Chen Shang. Just as he was about to rush over, Chen Shang used the counter power to hide himself. Just as Chen Shang had expected, the elder saw that he also knew how to use this method, so he was stunned. Just as he was startled, Chen Shang teleported and cut the elder into two. Boom! After Chen Shang killed it, he used Fire Cloud Palm to destroy the corpse. Elder Wu, come down the mountain and help them. Chen Shang sent a sound transmission to Wu Ji, who immediately left the peak of the mountain and rushed down. If it was before, they would definitely be able to defeat it, but now, these peak Divine Lords all understood that kind of counter power, it would definitely be very taxing for Dai Donggong and the others right now. There were also two peak Divine Lords here. When they saw Wu Ji rushing down the mountain and wanted to chase after him, Chen Shang hastily appeared and attacked the two peak Divine Lords. After dispersing their attention, Wu Ji had already disappeared. Jumping down from the everlasting mountain, that peak Divine Lord wielded a divine weapon and attacked Chen Shang. Spatial imprisonment. Chen Shang used a strong power of space to seal the two clan elders' space, causing them to only be able to move around in a small space, causing the two clan elders who were charging over to suddenly crash into a wall made of spatial energy, making them unable to move forward. Chen Shang immediately went over, with his sword slashing across, he sliced off two heads. You guys have the same level of ability. Chen Shang burned their bodies inside his Chuangshi God furnace. The disciples here saw how a few of the strongest elders had been killed, all of them possessing the strength of peak Divine Lord, but they were easily dealt with as easily as if they were chickens. They were definitely unable to deal with them, so they all flew away from the everlasting mountain, afraid that they would be killed. After Chen Shang finished off the few elders up there, he immediately went down the mountain. When he arrived downstairs, Chen Shang saw that his disciples had already started fighting with Purple Yuan sect and the others. Huang Jintian, Dai Donggong and the others were all injured, and it was all because they could not see their enemies and were plotted against. Chen Shang had 9 more bones than these peak Divine Lords, so he was many times stronger than them. Adding his terrifying heavenly magic sword, if these peak Divine Lord got near to him, they would most likely not be able to survive. When Chen Shang came down, he used the counter power to make himself invisible, so the enemies would not be able to see him. There are 3 of them. It seems like they are hiding quite a bit of power. Chen Shang used the Dao Heart Eye to lock onto one of them. At the same time he teleported, he waved his heavenly magic sword and the moment he appeared, he could immediately slash down. PFF'd. A strong sword whistle sounded, and an elder was hacked into 2 by Chen Shang. A terrifying flame poured into his body, and after it was hacked into 2, it ignited and burned into ashes by the Chuangshi God furnace's fire. When the other 2 clan elders saw this, they were shocked. The elder who was killed just now was suddenly attacked, and the person who attacked them did not appear, meaning that person understood counter power, and wanted them to become invisible. Chen Shang took advantage of the 2 elders hovering in the air to teleport over. After slashing down with his sword, he teleported to the side of another elder. Just as he was about to fly away, he suddenly stopped moving. The space around him had already been sealed by Chen Shang. Chen Shang recognized that this was the elder of Purple Yuan sect, and ruthlessly swung his sword, bringing along a roar of flames. When the sword slashed down, it was like a huge fan, enveloping the elder and pressing him down, burning him to ashes. 3 of the peak Divine Lords had died so quickly, but upon seeing this scene, all of the disciples were dumbstruck. To them, the peak Divine Lords were already out of their reach, but now that they had died so quickly, the people who killed them would definitely be even more terrifying. I'll leave this place to you. Chen Shang threw down these words and anxiously teleported away. Just now, he saw a red dot in the distance. That was clearly the power of the evil spirit race. Earlier, when he searched the elders' memories and found out that the evil spirit race had taught them the counter power, he allowed them to learn the art of invisibility. As for the red dot that he saw earlier on, it was very likely to be the evil spirit that had passed the counter power down to these elders. The other party seemed to be able to sense his presence, which was why he was running so fast. This guy's strength is not weak at all. However, why did he run away? Could it be that he deliberately lured me here? I must be careful. Chen Shang started to be alert. At the moment, he was also invisible, the other party would definitely not be able to see him. However, since the other party was from the evil spirit race, he would definitely be able to sense that he was nearby. He really did draw me here on purpose. This was because Chen Shang was about to get close to it a few times, but the evil spirit suddenly teleported in front of him. From this, it could be seen that this evil spirit could also control an extremely strong spatial energy, which made Chen Shang even more vigilant. Unknowingly, Chen Shang had caught up with the evil spirit and arrived above a lake. Not long after he entered the lake water below started to churn, and white gases started to rise from the lake. Chen Shang was immediately covered by the white mist. There's something wrong with this lake. After Chen Shang realized it, all he saw was a burst of white light that shone, and then the mist around him disappeared. At this moment, he was in a white space. There really is a trick. Chen Shang was extremely confident in his own strength, so he wasn't afraid of being trapped in this place. A man in black appeared in front of him. He only revealed his eyes, but it was clear from his eyes that he was a very energetic person. His eyes were sharp and cold, carrying a trace of hostility. Who exactly are you? Our divine power wasn't passed down to a human like you, but you know how to use it, the man in black asked coldly. Chen Shang did not waste time talking to him. This was his enemy and he was extremely strong, so when he tried to teleport, he was met with a slash, but the opponent managed to dodge it. This black costume evil spirit's ability to use spatial energy was also very profound, and he was very strong. Chapter 2356. After Chen Zhang's one strike failed, he confirmed the position of the black costume evil spirits and immediately attacked again with the second strike. However, this time, he was still dodged. The opponent didn't counterattack and just kept on dodging. With your current strength, it's still not enough to kill me. Don't waste your strength. Although you can use the power of space, you only know a little bit of it. It's only touching upon the space laws. The black costume evil spirit said, and me, who have cultivated within the spatial laws, you are too far away from me. Chen Shang was secretly shocked in his heart, but he did not reveal it as he sneered, then why did you run? Are you willing to watch those guys get killed by me? Quote. Black costume evil spirit said, I just want to talk to you alone. As for those dogs, they are nothing in my eyes. You, on the other hand, are much more important than them. Since you are able to grasp our strength without a teacher, I can let you join us and become one of us. Just listen to my commands in the future. Chen Shang finally understood that the black costume evil spirits had set his eyes on him and wanted to rope him in. This made him laugh in his heart. He would never join a power like the evil spirit race that wanted to destroy the heavens. What is it? Aren't you going to join us? As long as our plan succeeds, you will be able to gain even more power. The black costume evil spirit said. So what if I'm strong? Isn't it because I'm under your control? What's more, all of your actions are the ones that I hate the most. Don't think that I don't know your plans. What I need to do now is to destroy them. Chen Shang said coldly. The plan of the evil spirit race was to control the laws of the entire heavenly Tao and allow the countless creatures born from the heavenly Tao to become their energy, allowing them to obtain even more powerful strength. Chen Shang would never do such a thing. Very strange. Who exactly are you? Natural law divine spirit is already dead, and all of his comrades were killed by us, so there can't be anyone who would end up here. And you don't seem to be his accomplice. You don't know much. Black costume evil spirit said, even though you aren't willing to join us, I still have high hopes for you. Thus, no matter what, I must subdue you today and force you to become my slave. Chen Shang laughed coldly, then you still need to have the ability to do that. You really think I'm that weak? Many guys like you have died at my hands before. They all have one common trait, being conceited. Quote. Black costume evil spirits laughed. In my eyes, you are also a very conceited human. Be my slave, I will not treat you unfairly. Quote. With that, the black costume evil spirits suddenly disappeared. Chen Shang used the Dao Hard Eye, but was not able to catch him. At the same time, he teleported to avoid being attacked by the opponent. In the blink of an eye, a force suddenly hit his body as if it wanted to tear him apart. In that instant, he fell out of the spatial passageway. He actually suffered an attack after teleporting. A surge of power entered the teleportation channel he opened and quickly attacked him. This all happened in a very short period of time. I've already said that you're still too weak. If you join us and become my slave, I can guarantee that you'll quickly become stronger, even surpassing me, especially when it comes to using spatial energy. The black costume evil spirit said. Dream on. Chen Shang had already sensed that since he was within the black costume evil spirits, the opponent's spatial energy was indeed stronger than his, so he was indeed inferior to the black costume evil spirits in terms of spatial usage. But this was all because when he was cultivating divine deity, most of his divine deity were life-killing divine deity, so he had less spatial divine deity. He felt that if he had more than 100 spatial divine deity, he definitely would not be weaker than his opponent. After thinking about it, Chen Shang knew that he did not have much spatial divine deity, so if he were to compete with the power of space, he would definitely not be able to defeat the other party. It was also because the usage of Chen Zhang's spatial energy was not as good as his, that was why he came to the conclusion that Chen Shang was much weaker than him. Furthermore, Chen Shang was a human, and he had once cultivated the spatial laws before, so he believed that it was impossible for Chen Shang to defeat him. I'll give you one more chance. I don't want to waste any more time with you right now. If you obediently agree to be my slave, I can guarantee that you will have a very comfortable life in the future. Otherwise, I'll kill you here. The black costume evil spirit said. Slave your ass. For a guy like you, even if you were my slave, I would still look down on you. Chen Shang shouted as he took out the 6 realms mirrors. Then go to hell. The black costume evil spirit suddenly disappeared. He used the counter power to conceal himself, and at the same time, used his own powerful spatial energy to teleport. Chen Shang also immediately urged his 6 realms mirrors, allowing it to release a soul-sealing killing array. Ah! The moment black costume evil spirits appeared by Chen Zhang's side, he suddenly shouted loudly, and the soul-sealing killing formation that Chen Shang released from the 6 realms mirrors activated. This soul-sealing killing array could suddenly burst forth with a very strong power. It could seal an enemy's soul for an instant, and at that moment, it would also wildly attack the enemy's soul. However, it would only do so for an instant. To Chen Shang, an instant was more than enough for him to defeat his opponent. Right at this moment, Chen Zhang's heavenly magic sword's aura was raging, and all the divine deity in his body was trembling. Waves after waves of berserk divine power gushed out of him, assaulting the heavenly magic sword. Kill! Chen Shang bellowed, and at the same time, the heavenly magic sword pierced towards the center of the other party's brows. His eyes shot out 2 rays of golden light using his bones. The meteor immortal power entered the divine sense see through the specificity of his eyes through the bones, and saw the black-colored divine sense see as though he had been struck by 2 gigantic meteors. Chen Shang pulled out the heavenly magic sword and anxiously retreated. The black costume evil spirits held his head and screamed continuously, his entire body releasing red mist. At the same time, he cursed Chen Shang. I will tear you apart. Black costume evil spirits suddenly turned into a red mist. Her appearance was extremely sinister, as she roared and rushed towards Chen Shang. Come in. Chen Shang immediately summoned his Chuangshi God Furnace, making the opening of the Chuangshi God Furnace big, allowing the black costume evil spirits to enter inside. At this time, the white space around him had also disappeared, and the moment Chen Shang appeared in the lake. Black costume evil spirits did not die. He was trapped by Chen Shang inside the Chuangshi God Furnace. You sure are lucky, falling into the hands of a pill god like me. So don't worry, your spatial force won't disappear just like that after you die, so I'll accept it. Chen Shang laughed mischievously, then he hid in a cave and used the heavenly alchemy to separate his terrifying spatial energy from the black costume evil spirits' body. Chapter 2357. Chen Shang was not worried about Dai Donggong and the others now. All the threats at the Everlasting Mountain were dealt with by him. He had also asked Wu Ji about it using his communication jade symbol paper, and now they were tidying the battlefield, taking down Everlasting Mountain completely. He did not go back immediately. He could not wait to refine the power of space inside black costume evil spirits' body. Up until now, he had never come across a power that was more powerful than his, but that black costume evil spirits from just a moment ago was so much stronger than his. That was why he wished very much that he could wield such a strong power. Inside the Chuangshi God Furnace, the black costume evil spirits felt Chen Zhang's flames and, at the same time, secretly thought about what exactly is this thing that could actually trap him within, and even release such a strong flame, as if it wanted to burn him into ashes. Right now, Chen Shang was unwilling to burn him to ashes in one breath. There was a technique inside the heavenly alchemy that could separate one's powers, and now Chen Shang was going to use this technique to burn black costume evil spirits. Bastard, what are you doing? Why do I feel as if the power of space within my body is being separated? The black costume evil spirits screamed. You're not dead yet, Chen Shang laughed. I just want to be on the same level as you, so I'm going to refine your power of space into a pellet and eat it. Bastard, stop right now. If you do this, you will die a horrible death. Black costume evil spirits shouted in anger. You will die a horrible death. You all are ruining the heavens, so now you all are going to die a horrible death, ha ha eh, Chen Shang laughed, and increased the intensity of the fire, causing the black costume evil spirits to be unable to speak, and be unable to stop screaming. Black costume evil spirits had to shout for more than 4 hours before he stopped. At this point, he had also been refined by Chen Shang. Chen Shang separated out two powerful forces from his body. One was the counter power, the other was the power of space. These two powers were very powerful, especially the power of space. I wonder what will happen after I obtain these two powers. Chen Shang continued to condense the two separate energies. If he refined them into pills, the quality would improve by a lot. Chen Shang could also absorb it now, but he would not do that. He would lose a lot of energy. It took him 2 full days to refine these two energies into 2 pellets. He first swallowed a pellet that was refined from counter power, and then quickly fused it into his own body. At this time, his counter power had increased even more. It was very likely that black costume evil spirits' previous ability of discovering invisibility was due to the fact that the counter power on his body was very strong, allowing him to sense where the other invisibility evil spirits were. Therefore, Chen Shang felt that even if he did not use the Dao Hard Eye in the future, he would still be able to sense the invisible evil spirits. After that, he swallowed that spatial power refined into a pill. After eating it, the spatial power dispersed into his first divine sense C, entering his spatial divine deity. Chen Zhang's second divine sense C did not cultivate spatial divine deity, so he channeled this power into the first divine sense C. Although there weren't many spatial divine deity in the first divine sense C, they were able to absorb the vast amount of spatial energy, causing the quality of the spatial divine deity inside to rise by a lot. My power of space has increased by a lot. If I use my domain of spatial sensing, I can cover a very wide area. Chen Shang closed his eyes and the everlasting mountain appeared in his mind. In addition, when he used spatial travel, he would be able to travel even further. He felt that if he wanted to teleport to the great heavenly star, he would be able to do so very quickly, unlike the previous times where he needed to teleport multiple times. To Chen Shang, this was a huge improvement because in order to cultivate and replicate the divine medicine, he had forgotten about the spatial divine deity and it was hard to find any leeway to increase it. However, right now, it was because of the black costume evil spirits that his spatial energy had increased by a lot. Leader, come back quickly. We're in danger. Wu Ji suddenly sent a message to Chen Shang, who took out his communication jade symbol paper and immediately teleported to the top of the everlasting mountain after receiving the news. When he arrived, he saw that at the top of Everlasting Mountain, other than Wu Ji and the rest, there was another group of people. This group of people were all young, and the one leading them had an extremely arrogant expression. There was even a disciple stepping on his feet. Chen Shang knows this disciple, but he belongs to their villa. At the side, Dai Donggong, Huang Jintian and the others had turned pale. It could be seen that they had sustained internal injuries, and all of them had been beaten up by the group of people in front of them. Chen Shang used a spatial teleportation technique to send the disciple whose head had been stepped on away. His face also became ice cold and gloomy. Who are you? Chen Shang asked coldly. The young man who was leading the group saw the person he was stepping on being taken away. He was slightly surprised but also secretly angry. He saw this as a form of provocation. This everlasting mountain is ours, although you all worked hard, you all better get lost. We don't want to waste our energy on you. Although he was handsome, he lacked a manly air. However, his words were extremely arrogant, causing people to be a bit afraid of him. Leader, they are from undead divine race. That is the main clan from the heavenly Tao, they are going to occupy this everlasting mountain. Wu Ji sent a sound transmission to Chen Shang, they injured as the moment they appeared, their strength is extremely terrifying. Chen Shang never thought that these undead divine race would arrive so quickly, but he was not afraid. The ones who should scram are you guys. However, I will not let you all happily scram. You injured one of our people, and you even stepped on my disciple's head. Chen Shang said. The disciple who was kicked on the head suffered an enormous humiliation. As a leader, the fact that Chen Zhang's disciple had been humiliated like this was equivalent to humiliating him. Am I hearing things? Such a fellow can actually say such arrogant words. The man looked surprised and looked at the group of people behind him. The people behind him roared with laughter. Young master, you should be able to defeat him in 10 moves, right? 10 moves. Even one move is too much, young master can kill this idiot with one finger. Quote. Young master, quickly get rid of him. If you think that he is not worthy for you to attack, then let us handle it. We guarantee that we will not let him die an easy death. Quote. Chen Shang laughed, why are you dogs barking so happily? It can't be that your young master's yells are so nice, that your young master would give you feces, right? Quote. Young lord, quickly destroy him. Quick, kill him. He actually insulted us. That young master's expression had also become gloomy and cold. Chen Shang repeatedly provoked him, causing him to be extremely furious. No one had ever dared to act so arrogantly in front of him before. Chapter 2358. Other than the young lord who was more powerful, the rest were nothing in his eyes. Do you know where I come from? You arrogant and weak humans, don't think that just because we have the appearance of humans that we are as weak as you. The young lord walked forward and said in a cold voice, I'm too lazy to take action now, kneel down and beg for mercy. Kneel down and beg for mercy. After Chen Shang heard this, he could not help but burst out laughing wildly. Why did you come to snatch this place, yet make us kneel and beg for forgiveness, and the ones who should kneel and beg for forgiveness are you guys? I am in a good mood now, maybe I can let you guys go once, and let you guys easily scram back. Since you want to die so much, I'll grant your wish. The young master suddenly flashed, and with an extremely fast speed, he rushed towards Chen Shang. From afar, he looked like a bolt of lightning, striking right at Chen Shang. Chen Shang had just increased the power of space, so no matter how fast the other party was, it would still not be as fast as his heart. When he saw his opponent attack, he had a thought and disappeared. Although the young master was like a bolt of lightning, he missed. Ha! Chen Shang shouted, suddenly appearing beside the young master, his arm slashed down like a blade, bringing along the meteor immortal power, and furthermore releasing a dragon roar. It was extremely terrifying. The young master felt that Chen Zhang's sudden burst of power was extremely terrifying, and at the same time, he was overwhelmed with shock in his heart. He wanted to quickly dodge, but Chen Zhang's speed was simply too fast. Just as he reacted, his shoulder sank, and was ruthlessly struck by Chen Zhang's blade. Kacha! The young master, who was extremely arrogant just a moment ago, had his arm chopped off by Chen Shang with his bare hands. It should be said that it was torn apart by the powerful strength of Chen Zhang's attack. Ah! The young lord cried out miserably. Pow! Chen Shang fiercely slapped him across the face, with a loud, boom, sound. After the handsome face was tilted to the side, Chen Shang then quickly sent a backhand slap towards it. The left and right faces of the face were instantly slapped dozens of times by Chen Shang, and from the terrible look of his face, it could not even be seen that it was a human face. You dare to be arrogant, and you even trample on my people. Chen Shang put down the young master, stepped on the young master's face, and sneered, I thought you were very strong, but you're just an ant, go die. The impact of meteor immortal power on Chen Zhang's leg was accompanied by an intense flame. Everyone could see that when Chen Shang stepped on the young master's face, his thigh suddenly released a burst of flame. Roar! Flames surged out along with the meteor immortal power, releasing a burst of fierce whistling sound, and a huge sea of flames sprayed out. Boom! At the same time, the fire burned loudly, enveloping the young master's body. The meteor immortal power tore his body into pieces, and the fierce flames burned the shattered pieces to ashes. Young lord! A young man shouted in fear. Although the group of young men were furious, they didn't dare to charge over. Even their young lord was killed by the enemy, not to mention them. You want to leave? Chen Shang flipped his body and used spatial imprisonment, locking all the youths in place. Then, he used spatial slashes to cut all the space around them into pieces, causing their bodies to shatter as well. You bunch of dog slaves, since you're loyal to your young lord, I'll have you accompany him. Chen Shang teleported into the air and released a fire cloud palm that pressed down like a mountain. It set off a wave of fire and it enveloped the group of young men, turning them into ashes before they could even let out a scream. With Chen Zhang's current strength, even Wu Ji and the others felt fear. They never thought that Chen Shang was actually this terrifying, that the young master was an existence that surpassed the peak divine lord in their eyes, yet he was ruthlessly stomped by Chen Shang, which meant that Chen Zhang's strength was even stronger than that young master. Chen Zhang's face turned solemn, and said, "Looks like they have already come, and indeed they have changed. They are completely different from undead divine races like Elder Wu." Wu Ji sighed, "I wonder what exactly happened, they actually wanted to destroy that seal. Now, everyone, please heal yourselves. Open the great formation of the everlasting mountain." Chen Shang said, "The undead divine race above natural law divine realm was here, and they were very strong as a whole. The young master he had just killed definitely had an extremely high status, so the undead divine race would definitely send someone stronger next. Next, we will have to defend the everlasting mountain to the death. They will definitely send even more powerful people over." Chen Shang said, "Elder Wu, how are your injuries?" "Nothing serious," Wu Ji said. "Then go to the great heavenly star, go to Hundreds of Flowers village, and have Shu Yuking come here. If he can contact the dragon Kylan of the great heavenly star, see if he comes." Chen Shang said. "I'll go now." Wu Ji nodded, he had also heard from Chen Shang about the dragon Kylan, so he quickly rushed to the great heavenly star. Amongst the big stars, there weren't many people who could help, only Shu Yuking, the cursed demoness who had broken through to Peak Divine Lord, and the dragon Kylan, Ren Xin. Although there were a lot of Peak Divine Lord above, they were still too weak to help. When Chen Shang killed that group of men earlier, he took away a few of their divine souls. These divine souls all had memories inside them. He was using the soul-absorbing devil spell to search for memories right now. He wanted to understand more about the natural law divine realm. He wanted to understand why the undead divine race above had turned into this. That young master must have known a lot of things, but Chen Shang didn't hold back when she killed him just now, so both the soul and body of the divine sensei were instantly destroyed. Through the memories that Chen Shang had found in the divine soul, he found out about some things which had really surprised him. Above natural law divine realm was also the undead divine race. Other than the undead divine race, there were also many other races, including humans. Basically, all of them were naturally born creatures, and all of them were the most powerful existences within the natural law divine realm. It was just that no one knew what was happening on top of natural law divine realm. There were only 3 races left, and one of them was the undead divine race, followed by the human race and the red spirit race. The so-called red spirit races were evil spirit races who mainly relied on sucking in blood to survive. The humans above the natural law divine realm were not very strong, they were only of medium strength, but the undead divine race and the red spirit race were both very strong. Especially the red spirit race. Originally, they were even more powerful because they possessed the power to restrain the other god tribes. That was why they were punished by the natural law divine spirit. Because the natural law divine spirit was a human, the heavenly law holy land that the human race resided in had a powerful force protecting it. Therefore, after the other races mysteriously disappeared, the human race could still exist. The undead divine race and the red spirit race had joined forces. They wanted to go against the laws of the heavenly path and let the world revolving with their natural law principles be controlled in their hands. All these years, because the undead divine race and the red spirit race had been very close, the undead divine race had already been corroded by the evil spirit and the undead divine race had changed. Chapter 2359. After Chen Shang found out about these things, he also found a way to defend himself. Right now, only the undead divine race was here, and the evil spirit race was still above the natural law divine realm, dealing with human beings. Looks like the natural law divine realm is the birthplace of all the living creatures. There are all sorts of races and their strengths are all extremely powerful. That young master, who is only the son of the leader of a small tribe in the undead divine race, is already so powerful. What Chen Shang was curious about was why did the other races suddenly disappear? Undead divine race also did not know about this, and evil spirit race did not seem to be aware of it either. But the humans protected by the heavenly Tao Holy Land were still here. There had to be a reason. Only 3 batches came to the undead divine race, one of them occupied a heavenly star, the other one was killed by me while the rest were preparing to kill a heavenly star, but they should all know by now that the batch that came to this place was destroyed, and they will be here very soon. Chen Shang was not too worried. If Shu Yuking came, with Shu Yuking's help, he would be able to relax, if only the dragon Kylan could come. Right now, the everlasting mountain seal was very weak, it could easily be broken if damaged, so Chen Shang had to stay here, even if he could not reinforce the seal, he could not let the seal be destroyed so quickly, he had to delay it for a while, so that they could refine spirit pill which could quickly increase their strength. As long as they had more heavenly Dao realm experts, they would not have to worry about strong enemies from the natural law divine realm. And Dai Donggong were both injured. It could be seen how strong the people from the natural law divine realm were, that they were the top rankers in the star law divine realm. Shu Yuking and Wu Ji came from the great heavenly star, so Chen Shang was a little disappointed that he did not see the dragon Kylan. Are the enemies very strong? Shu Yuking also knew a lot of things, so when she saw Chen Shang, she asked him directly. But you and I can deal with them now, so it might be a little difficult. Yu Qing, thank you for your hard work. Chen Shang smiled at her and stroked her hair. It's fine, I've also improved a lot. It's just right for me to give it a try. Shu Yuking smiled at Chen Shang. She had been in the Hundreds of Flowers village for a few days already, so she knew quite a bit about Chen Shang from him and understood him better. After that, Chen Shang told Wu Ji and Shu Yuking everything he knew about the natural law divine realm. He had already told Dai Donggong and the others about it before. Shu Yuking was using the power of a curse, so her actions were also soundless. Once someone was hit by her curse, the consequences would be severe, and with the 100 gods level, she would be able to fully cultivate it soon, making her considered strong in the star law divine realm. Of course, it was only because Shu Yuking had cultivated to the second divine sense that she had such strength. Wu Ji had secretly guessed at Shu Yuking's strength. He did not expect that the woman by Chen Zhang's side would be so strong, even more terrifying than these elders, he could not see through it. Shu Yuking had only been there for half a day, but a group of people suddenly appeared at the top of Everlasting Mountain. If not for the protection of the Great Formation, they would have already rushed down. Yu Qing, you'd better prepare yourself. Listen to my orders and help me later. Chen Shang said to Shu Yuking before he instantly teleported into the air, appearing in front of that group of people. Who are you? Chen Shang already knew the background of the other party, but he still had to pretend to ask. He wanted to see if the other party knew that he was the one who killed the young master. And who are you? Quickly remove the formation, or else we will destroy it, and this mountain will be ours. There were several dozen people on the opposing side, led by a middle-aged man. Behind the middle-aged man was an old man who caused everyone to tremble with fear. One look was all it took to tell that he was very powerful. I am a leader of the Everlasting Mountain. What right do you have to say that this mountain is yours? Chen Shang asked indifferently. You talk too much. I don't care if you are the leader here, I only know that I have set my eyes on this mountain and it is mine. I will ask you again, are you going to remove the array? The middle-aged man's voice became very cold and full of threat. No retreat, Chen Shang replied. The sword suddenly stabbed over, without any warning, it had stabbed into Chen Zhang's throat in the blink of an eye. Chen Shang had already prepared himself. The moment the other party attacked, he used the cloud sky constellation and turned his throat into a fog. Although the sword pierced through, it was unable to harm him. The other party thought that he had pierced Chen Zhang's throat, but felt that something was amiss. By the time he discovered it, Chen Zhang's heavenly magic sword had already appeared. Chen Zhang's sword was extremely fast, aimed for his opponent's wrist. The middle-aged man did not expect his sword to pierce through the enemy's throat, but it did not cause any damage to the enemy. While he was still in shock, the enemy had already returned the attack. Ah! The middle-aged man suddenly shouted. His wrist had been struck by Chen Shang. When his divine sword and palm fell, Chen Shang used teleportation techniques and teleported him to the Chuangshi God furnace. The man behind the middle-aged man was also surprised. Their leader's hand had been cut off. Die! The middle-aged man roared as he struck out with his other hand. With a blue chi aura, the whole earth suddenly started to shake violently. When the aura attacked, it created a violent wind. The ground was instantly covered with a thick layer of it. Mud and trees flew everywhere, blowing in all directions. Chen Shang was secretly shocked. Even after a palm was cut off, the middle-aged man still remained indifferent as he made his move, releasing that blue divine force. He did not know what law power it was, but the power it contained caused Chen Shang to be shocked. Although it looked like a violent force of astral wind, it was actually a sharp thorn condensed from divine power. It was extremely terrifying. After Chen Shang teleported away, he felt a lingering fear in his heart. He felt that if he was pierced, he would definitely be severely injured. It was a sharp thorn condensed with a very powerful god's power. However, the speed of the thrust was still a bit slow. The other party did not know that he had grasped such a powerful spatial force. If it was the past, Chen Shang would definitely not have used teleportation, but it was different now. After he absorbed the black costume evil spirits' spatial energy, even in the face of this extremely unstable space, he was still able to teleport smoothly. Yu Qing, deal with that old man, Chen Shang suddenly said to Shu Yuqing. He could already feel that the old man behind the middle-aged man was condensing a very terrifying power. Shu Yuqing was already prepared. Upon hearing Chen Zhang's sound transmission, she immediately used her curse power. Chen Shang once again teleported to the side of the middle-aged man. A lightning strike struck, and the middle-aged man's arm flashed with a blue light. Chapter 2360. Chen Shang never thought it would be like this. The middle-aged man had lost a palm just now, so he should be aware of the heavenly magic sword's strength, but he had actually used his arm to hit him. After the blue light from the heavenly magic sword struck the middle-aged man's arm, Chen Shang felt that his own heavenly magic sword seemed to be about to distort, as it was melted by an extremely strange and somewhat soft power. This is bad. Chen Shang anxiously pulled out the heavenly magic sword, but it was unexpectedly difficult to pull it out, as it was attracted by a strong suction force. Spatial isolation. Chen Shang placed his spatial energy over the heavenly magic sword, allowing it to separate itself from the heavenly magic sword. Only then did he manage to get it out. The heavenly magic sword had already bent a little, which made Chen Shang astonished. The other party's power was extremely strange and terrifying. Just now, Chen Shang also saw that the old man behind the middle-aged man was about to attack, but he did not know why he stopped. "Elder, what's wrong?" the middle-aged man asked. "I can't move." The old man's face was filled with shock. "It's the power of a curse. Someone set a curse on me. This should be the most common body-securing curse." Seeing that the old man could not move, Chen Shang knew that Shu Yuqing had made his move. At this time, he also took out the 6 realms mirrors, made it bigger, and then used the mirror to slap at the middle-aged man. The middle-aged man did not know how terrifying the 6 realms mirrors was. His fist overflowed with that strange blue light, and smashed on the mirror. The 6 realms mirrors shook and released a blue light that struck the middle-aged man's body. Power radiation. The middle-aged man shouted in panic as he tried to control the power of the radiation. Just then, Chen Shang controlled the killing array inside the 6 realms mirrors, releasing a burst of red light. Red Sword Purgatory. The red light emitted by the killing array turned into many red swords that covered the middle-aged man and the group of undead divine race behind him. After the red light faded, another wave of white light shone from within the 6 realms mirrors. Streams of white light shot out, followed by multicolored lightning that rumbled out, strong flames gushing out. Chen Shang consecutively used several powerful killing arrays, covering the entire opponent. "Quick, hurry up and leave." The middle-aged man could no longer hold on. He did not expect Chen Zhang's 6 realms mirrors to be so powerful, to have not even seen the killing formations released before. "Yu Qing, hold him," Chen Shang said to Shu Yuqing. "All right." Shu Yuqing quickly used the body-securing curse again, locking the middle-aged man in the air. Moreover, the other undead divine races were already injured by the few killing formations, and fell from the sky. There was only the middle-aged man and the old man still floating in the air. Their bodies were also covered with wounds. Chen Shang was now able to unleash the power of a 6 realms mirrors even more. "This is my territory, you are courting death, you can't blame me for this." Chen Shang waved his sword, chopping the middle-aged man to death, then took out his Chuangshi god furnace and burned the old man to death. These undead divine race were all here to open that seal. They were the enemies they face, they would definitely not hold back. It's finally over. These people aren't that strong. Chen Shang landed on the ground, exhaled, and smiled to Shu Yuqing. "Well done." Shu Yuqing could only use the simplest body-securing curse. This kind of body-securing curse did not have much killing power, but it could still be used as a support. She knew that the other party was not very strong, As long as she could play a part in it, she would leave the killing of the enemy to Chen Shang. If one used a strong curse of destruction, it would consume a lot of energy. It was only used against powerful enemies. There's only one group left now, and they're all on the same planet, so their numbers aren't small. They should soon learn that the two groups that came with them are all dead. Wu Ji said. What did they do on that star? Chen Shang asked. Slaughter everywhere up there, they are just a group of demons. Wu Ji sighed, the strongest powers up there have all been destroyed by them. Alright, we'll head there now. There's no need to wait for them. Chen Shang said, in what heavenly star? Green brilliant star. Wu Ji said, Yu Qing, let's go. I'll be back soon. Chen Shang said, there were 3 batches of undead divine race here, and 2 of them had already been exterminated by him, while the remaining one was still on heavenly star realm, happily killing people. Chen Shang and Shu Yuqing quickly arrived at the green brilliant star. Looking at it from the air, it was a very beautiful green star. The great formation protecting the green brilliant star had already been destroyed. Now, it looked like this beautiful green star was filled with all kinds of disasters. Many people were trying to escape. Brother, what's the situation now? Chen Shang stopped a middle-aged man and asked. Very bad, a group of demons suddenly came, they kill as they see fit, and even let some organizations help them kill people. If they don't listen to us, they will torture them to death, so you should quickly return. The transmission array was destroyed by them just to prevent more people from escaping. If you go down, it will be very dangerous. After saying this, the middle-aged man hurriedly left. Was furious that this group of undead divine race had done such a thing. Shu Yuqing had found out about it in the Dark Jade Ring, and said that they would use a strong curse to torture this group of evil demons. Chen Shang immediately teleported to the ground and arrived at a city. This place had already been turned into ruins, and when he arrived, he found a group of people with decent strength chasing after a group of people who were shouting for him to kill. This group of people did not belong to the undead divine race, but were forced to go around killing people by the undead divine race. Curse of the Burning Heart, slowly die. Shu Yuqing locked this group of people in her green jade ring and then used her cursing power. Chen Shang originally wanted to be born, but he did not expect Shu Yuqing to make a move even more. The group of people who were laughing and slashing suddenly fell to the ground, they clutched their chests, and roared frantically in pain. Chen Shang walked over, grabbed one of them and aligned it with the soul-absorbing devil spell, finding out where the group of undead divine races were from this person's memories. These guys, they turned this heavenly star into a hell. Chen Shang looked at the corpses that littered the ground around him, let out a long sigh, and then teleported in one direction. Green Brilliant Sky Mountain was a huge mountain emitting a strong green glow, and was also where Green Brilliance sect was located. It was the strongest sect on Green Brilliant Sky Star, but now it was occupied by a group of undead divine races. It's up there, the evil source of this planet. Chen Shang teleported to a platform on the mountain. It was a huge plaza and at the moment, there were many people watching the bloody battles.